Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Pittsburg, Texas. A beautiful night for football here under Friday Night Lights, where your Gilmer Buckeyes are going to take on the Pittsburg Pirates. Everybody is 0-0 in district, and it is now that part of the season. Phase 2, as Coach Metzel calls it, where every game counts. Interesting factoid from our guru with statistics, Mr. Joe Dodd. This is the oldest rivalry in the history of Gilmer. The first meeting of this team was on October the 2nd, 1914, and the Buckeyes were launching their inaugural game in their football program. Now, Pittsburgh had already been playing for 2 years, so they had a good program. We lost that game 51-0. The next meeting was a month later, our second game, and in Gilmer, and we won 64-6, and we've been pretty much having our way ever since. We're 51-23-3 since 1914. This is the oldest rivalry in the history of the Gilmer Buckeyes. Now, of course, sharing a district once again. Everybody's 0-0. First district game for everybody in the district tonight, and everything starts counting. So for these young Buckeyes who went down to Huntsville last week and beat a very, very talented 5A team that was state-ranked, and I want to say once again, appreciate Coach Pate for joining us on that broadcast. And that was a great trip, great stadium, great night for the Buckeyes. And I tell you what, beat up, banged up, second, third guys, there was no excuses last week. These Buckeyes showed up and played like champions. And, every single game we'd had up until then almost came down to the last play of the game. And instead, the Buckeyes just kind of put their foot in it and just kind of ran away with the victory over a state-ranked, complete 5A Division I team. So, Jeff Rash, it is now that time of the year when everything starts counting, and we say it every week on the Coach's Show. Coach Metzel schedules the SEC West for us in pre-district schedule so that we can be ready, and I think it's worked once again. That these Buckeyes have uncovered all the flaws, all the things they really need to work on. Got kind of everybody back and healthy tonight, and just in time after a bye week. Things are looking like they're supposed to for the Buckeyes, especially when you look at the black flag, and what they were able to do on defense last week was impressive.
Yeah, I tell you, Todd, I was out of town. I was in Lubbock with my daughter, who's going to Texas Tech, a couple of weeks ago when the Buckeyes went down and took on Brenham. I was trying to say Brenham and Huntsville, and so I got to listen to you guys, which I want to thank Ryan for stepping in and doing a fantastic job and covering for me. And I got to tell you, I was super impressed with what I saw. You realize that the Buckeyes had, when you think about having 8 starters down, and 5 of those being what you would call critical, in some critical places, and to take on a number 8 ranked 5A Division II team, it's not like it's some, large school with no program. That's a good program there. And for them to go in there and do what they did that night and actually show a little glimpse of what the first 4 games prepped them to be able to do there. And that's the whole purpose, like you said, around what we do in the first 5 games of the year. And now we're up against district. And by the way, district will not be a cakewalk. We've got tonight, you're playing against Pittsburgh, and they're struggling a little bit this season. But you never underestimate any opponent. If you don't believe that, ask Alabama. Yeah. Right? So you never underestimate an opponent. But we've got the next 2 games are going to be really tough games.
And the one after that doesn't get any either. Pittsburgh has got some talented athletes. This is East Texas. And this is one of those areas up here, and guys like Kendall Wright, who were a first-round draft pick out of Pittsburgh. That goes all the way back to the battles that Pittsburgh and Gilmer have had back to when we were in school in the 1980s, and Pittsburgh winning the state championship in 1986. And they knocked out Coach Jeff Traylor's senior year, and then went on to win a state championship. Coach Traylor still
powerhouse history.
Absolutely, for sure. And Coach Tristan Abram has taken a team to a state championship with Paul Pewitt. So he is very, very experienced. Now, what you're going to see tonight from Pittsburgh is basically option football. They've kind of gone back to the basics. They tried to throw it last year and switched offensive coordinators and really came back to it's almost like an inverted wishbone. Everything's option left, right. You got 11 guys. We will not need a wide shot in the picture when Pittsburgh has the ball tonight. They're all 11 guys right there in a double wing formation that they run the option out of. But that just happens to be playing into the strength of this Buckeyes, which is this black flag frontline defense. And, of course, that's led by Tyler Hagler. And you've got all of the compadres that are there that are on that defensive front, and that has been the absolute strength. Last year at this time, we were scratching our heads wondering we had to rebuild the defense. And this year, everything's really been anchored on the defense. The good news is not only they're really good, Jeff, they're really young.
Well, they are, Todd, and so we're looking forward to having those boys back for the next several years. In fact, we've got, if you go back and look in the junior high and even down in the intermediate, we've got some horses coming.
It's coming.
And so I tell you, you made a comment last year. It's just the testament of that defensive coaching staff, led by Tommy Edwards. Those guys had to make adjustments every single game. They were moving the right players in the right spots and doing just enough to get by. We squeaked by all the way through the playoffs, except for one game in particular, and we ended up with the state championship. But I'm going to tell you something. That is what good coaching gets you, because they had to make so many adjustments and so many changes, and then our students having to make those adjustments week to week to week. So. And this year, you saw we struggled early on with a little bit of special teams. They've gotten that, I think, fixed. I'm going to say that. I'm going to say fixed past tense. And the offense got out of the blocks a little slow on some of these bigger teams we were playing. But, man, 2 weeks ago, they were just looking good. So hopefully we're going to see them do that again tonight, all through district and then into the playoffs as well. So getting some players back that we've had out, which we need them for district. Still have a few still sidelined, but they'll be back hopefully by the end of district, maybe for the playoffs. But I tell you what, it just goes to show the depth and the coaching ability that our coaches can, lose a key player, make an adjustment, So I think it says a lot about this coaching staff and these players.
Yeah, and you saw it on display, full display last week, where we were undermanned. And let me tell you something, Coach Metzel was not lying. When Brenham came on the field, especially the first half, you had one guy rush for over 200 yards in the first half.
Yeah.
And we were like, hey, we've seen this before. Let's just go play. And our guys completely kept their composure and literally just kind of created turnovers, 3 turnovers. You saw some real guys really starting to kind of step up into those roles, even though they'd been kind of in backup roles. And, we point to last year where especially Brendan Webb was the guy that really, in the Kilgore game.
Yeah, kind of had a breakout game.
Yeah. And then, of course, he rode that all the way to a state championship where he was the defensive most valuable player. And that all came from essentially that one Kilgore game and him, a young guy, getting an opportunity. And that's exactly what we saw last week. So we are now going to turn our attention to our national anthem by the award-winning Pittsburg Band, and we will recognize our great country.
Well, I tell you what, Todd, there is nothing more American than what we're doing right now.
Friday night,
and there's
Texas.
Certainly nothing more Texan, and specifically East Texan. And it is a beautiful night here as the sun is setting in the west. And the Buckeyes set to take off their oldest rival. I didn't know that, by the way.
Oldest rival. Thank you, Joe Dodd, for giving us that.
Joe Dodd coming up with the good stuff once again.
1914, our first game.
I think he makes up half of our statistics, and nobody just questions us. That's what I believe.
I stopped questioning him about the third grade. I don't know about you.
Yeah. He has done this literally our entire lives. He's been the stat man since birth. But 1914, the first time these two teams met. And tonight, here we are all the way in 2024, and they're meeting once again. So that's kind of a cool history. And Buckeyes set tonight to make their district championship run, hopefully. Tonight we got 5 games until the district championship will be crowned to someone. And certainly the Buckeyes are a favorite in that contest.
Well, for tonight's captains, we got number 13, Jeremiah Noble, left to right. Number 56 for the Buckeyes, that is Jackson Neely. We've got number 2 back tonight. Off injury, Big Grayson Bates, fullback.
Glad to see number 2 down there.
And deep snapper.
Yep.
And 11, Kai Kennedy, who really came on and had a great game. Forced 2 turnovers last week.
Great game.
That was really the breakout game on defense for Kai. And we have just kind of been waiting on that breakout as Pittsburgh wins the toss and they elect to receive. So the black flag defense that we were just bragging on is going to be on the field first. Buckeyes in all white tonight, which really like that clean look, and Pittsburgh in their all black. So it's the good guys are in white tonight. If you're a Buckeye fan, so much history and respect between these two programs. We talked about the first meeting of the first 2 games the Buckeyes ever played in their history were against Pittsburgh, but there are some modern connections as well. Tristan Abrams, the head coach over there, is from Sulphur Springs, Texas. Tristan also coached the Paul Pewitt high school team to a state championship appearance. And, of course, so many close ties that all go back to SFA between, Greg there when he was at Sulphur Springs, and he was Tristan's head coach when he was an assistant. And as Tristan kind of came up through the ranks, he's hired a lot of Gilmer Buckeyes. So we have Tevin Godfrey, 2009 state champion, who is the receivers coach over there on the other side. And to start this game, I don't think we caught it on camera, but it was nice because both teams came together on the field and had a devotion right in the middle of midfield before they put the pads on or anything else.
That's what I'm talking about that whole nothing more American than this. Don't stop believing what you see on TV and read on the internet. You come to a Friday night football game, get off your phone and come to one of these games. You're going to see some great, wholesome Americana right here, buddy. That's why I love to do this. What about you, Todd?
There's no place I'd rather be.
Yeah, this is good stuff. So the Buckeyes getting set. They got the kickoff team on the field. And who's going to be kicking off other than number 0, Braden Pate, the man with the leg, the number 1 leading scorer last year in the nation. Number 1 kicker in the nation last year, leading scorer. He's also our middle linebacker. And his punting abilities alone, this guy should be playing on Saturday somewhere for sure. Here's the kickoff, and it is fielded on the 6-yard line. A lot of Buckeyes in his face right off the bat. Flag on the field. As we got a little bit overzealous down there, they're going to probably call that a face mask or a horse collar. And that was number 40 who got down there first for the Buckeyes. That was
that's Amari
Garrett.
Garnett. Yeah. And Amari just reached out with his hand. I mean, that's all. He's running full speed. He reaches out. And unfortunately, we had him tackled there about the 11-yard line. If that is a space mask penalty, that's going to give Pittsburgh decent starting field position out to probably about the 26. And it won't matter because they run what they run. It is either wishbone left or wishbone right, option football. So for the Buckeyes, it's going to be all about assignment football. They move that all the way out to the 30. They're going to call that a spot foul at the 15-yard line. And the Buckeye black flag is going to come on the field first tonight, hopefully getting those 3 and out. But it's, again, one of those nights, Jeff, where Pittsburgh's going to try to play slow and run a lot of clock, and the Buckeyes are going to try to play fast, get a big lead, and run away.
All right, so here's the lineup. We got 2 wide outs, wide to the left, 1 to the right, 1 back in the backfield. Number 9 quarterbacking tonight for the Pittsburgh Pirates. That is Cord Johnson. And so they're getting lined up. Like you say, Todd, you're going to see this game's probably going to go fast as long as Pittsburgh has the ball. Dropping back, looking to pass, nowhere to go. Rush falling out of the pocket, going to throw this one away. No, he tries to throw back across the field, and that ball is going to fall incomplete. Pass was intended to 0, J.R. Thompson.
Well, we're one play in, and I got to apologize to Buckeye fans. I should know Tristan Abrams better than that. Of course, all he's put on film is option literally for 5 straight plays. Pittsburgh comes in a nice game 0-5. What does he do in the first play? Throws it out, throws the ball.
Yeah. All right. Second play it down. It is 2nd and 10. Ball spotted on the 30-yard line. Again, going to play slow tonight. Already down to 10 seconds on the play clock. They're not going to be in any hurry. Handoff. Nope, option. And it is a wild pitch. And luckily he caught it, but he was drugged down in the backfield for a loss of 5 yards. That's going to bring up the money. The money down, 3rd and 15.
Yeah, we bragged on him last week, all week long, and that's Kai Kennedy from his outside linebacker position who drops that one for about a 5-yard loss. And Pittsburgh back to their own 26, 3rd and long, not where Pittsburgh operates from the best with behind the chains.
Well, you talked about him coming out, Kennedy coming out at the last game, I said last week, 2 weeks ago, and just had an outstanding game against the big 5A team in Brenham. And so we'll see what he's got here tonight on the defensive side of the ball. 2 wideouts to the right, 1 to the left. Handoff up the middle. Buckeyes look like they read it. They sent a blitz up the middle, and they're going to shut him down after a gain of maybe nothing. Maybe a yard. That's going to bring up 4th down, and the punt team's going to have to come on the field.
And there's your 3 and 8. That's Trey Lee. That is the young sophomore that has got such a bright future. He is so athletic, Jeff. I see him every day. But it seems like every day he grows into those big 17-size shoes.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. And you mean that literally. That's not a figurative. That wasn't a figurative comment for those listening. Here's the snap, a little bit high, able to field it, and got off a decent punt. Fair catch called and fumbled. Buckeyes scrambling for it. Pittsburgh gets it. So that's a lucky break.
A flag. He hit number 7. That's got to be a flag.
Yeah, we got no flag on the play.
He ran into the catcher, which is illegal. And
watch the replay here. He is. They're supposed to give him a little bit of room. They're supposed to have at least a yard, and I think he was a little closer than that. They're going to give it to Gilmer there.
Yeah. No way that they missed that one. We've got the replay on that one. Appreciate it, Eric and the crew catching that.
Yeah, he was a little bit inside. You got to give him about a yard. You can't stand there and put pressure on him. When they call for a fair catch, you kind of got to get away from them. And unfortunately, Pittsburgh just got a little too close that time.
I'm not sure I understand the spot, though. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's moving it.
They're gonna move this ball up to where it should be, about the 48-yard line. And
well, I think he was. I thought he was going to spot it. Based where he called on the fair catch, but it looks like we got a little more favorable spot. So,
it was a penalty with no flag.
Pittsburgh just faced what I think is the best defense, and 3 and out. Faced the best defense in Division II, 4A, and now let's see what one of the best offenses, I think. Also, left side, 10 yards, 12 yards, 14 still going. That's about a 16-yard gain there by number 3. Who else? Trill Butler.
Trillian has got some jets, folks, and he showed them off last week, and he is really coming to his own, as Coach Metzel talked about in the coach show last week, in terms of really being that all-around back with his vision and with his cutting ability. He picks up a big first down there.
All right, here's the snap. It's a little trap play, inside pitch, and that is to number 7, Brennan Webb. Pittsburgh sniffs it out, stops them for 1. It's going to bring up 2nd and 9.
And this lineup, Jeff, looks really scary. First of all, it's good to have Lucas Cano back at right guard.
You can say that again.
To kind of hold everything together there. But these wide receivers, Jeremiah Noble and Caden Tennyson and Brendan Webb, that is a talented bunch of guys.
Quarterback keeper up the middle. You don't see a whole lot of that with Brady McCowan, but he takes it up the middle. And picks up a nice 4 yards. It's 3rd and 5.
Yeah, positive yardage on 3rd down, Jeff, in 4-down territory. That's the smart plays that win you football games right there. You don't take a sack. You don't throw it away. You don't have to. You just take what the defense gives you. Take your 5-yard scramble, fall down, be careful with the football. Brings us to 3rd and 5 at the 31-yard line, and this is going to be 4-down territory for the Buckeyes.
All right. Buckeyes with a tight set, 1 wide out to the left. Handoff up the middle. Butler. Around the side, and that'll score.
That is
the first score of the night as the 10-6 100-meter dasher runs down the right sideline. and gets the score. He's got the replay here. You can see him cutting out to the right side, and just there is no way. You got to have a steep angle to catch somebody with his speed, and he turns on the jets and gets the 6 for the Buckeyes.
And we're going to go for 2, and we're going to get it.
They line up, go for 2. There's a secret to winning and why they do that. We're not going to tell you why it is.
So that was number 6 scoring for the Buckeyes. That's Day-Day Jimerson. And it is good to have Day-Day back, senior running back. And, of course, we expect to get Alex Sims back next week. And, Jeff, then we will have the full contingency of Buckeye running backs back. That was 5 minutes, 2 first downs, 55-yard drive for the Buckeyes. That was all on the ground, by the way. Most of that was with Trill Butler. So, Jeff, this is exactly how the Buckeyes wanted to start out. Pittsburgh wins the toss and elects to receive, but the Buckeye defense comes out, 3 and outs them, and then gets great field position on the special teams, goes right down and scores, and now with 8:58 left, the Buckeyes lead 8-0. It doesn't get any better than that as far as the start for the Buckeyes.
Yeah, that's right. And here's the kicking team again. I hope we see them quite often tonight. And as the Buckeyes offense really getting some momentum under that last game, as we discussed. And they looked smooth and executed extremely well there against the Pirate defense. So Buckeyes score first. It is now 8-0 as the kicking team prepares for kickoff.
Yeah, and the Buckeyes hope that it is a very boring punting night tonight for Braden Pate, but if it should come to that, he is world class. I mean,
I'm telling you, he is. He is, and it looks like he just grows every week. He looks taller and wider tonight.
He's maturing.
Haven't seen him in a couple of weeks, right before our eyes. Yeah, big deep kickoff, fielded on the 3-yard line. Going to return it up the middle. Got a little bit of a gap. One Buckeye got a hand on him, unable to bring him down. Nice return there by the Pirates, and they're going to start over 1st and 10 from the 30 for the second time tonight. And they're going to try to get out here and move the ball down the field against this incredible Buckeye black flag defense.
Yeah, Josiah Merrill in on that tackle, and he is one of those guys that just keeps contributing week after week after week. And let me check that number again. I think that was 25 on the tackle. I think that was True Griffin on the tackle. Yes, it was. Give credit where credit's due. Once again, Jeff, Buckeyes come back out, black flag, second drive of the night, trying to go 3 and out once again.
All right, they hand off up the middle, and it is going nowhere. That big defensive line wraps their hands around the running back, drops him for a loss of about a yard. It's going to be 2nd and 11.
Yeah, and that's 0. Paid again on the tackle. And that is back to what we really expected to see from Pittsburgh, which is that option look. They call it a speed option, but it doesn't look real fast when the Buckeyes play defense like that.
All right. Looks like Pittsburgh is going to send a wide out left and one to the right. Everybody else in nice and tight. Quarterback's lining up in the shotgun with the running back behind him. And again, they're not going to be in any hurry. They got 7 seconds left on the play clock, and they are going to run it down to, the last second. And he better snap that ball quickly. He just got delay a game. They're not going to call it, of course. That is a catch for 5 yards, 6 yards actually. And Joe Dodds kindly reminding the refs that he snapped the ball a couple of seconds after the play clock expired. But it's going to stand, and it brings up 3rd and 5 after a 6-yard gain. Yeah,
I think we kind of relaxed a little bit when the play clock went down. Davenport on the coverage out there, giving a little bit of a cushion, but they pick up a nice 5-yard gain to make it 3rd and manageable.
All right, quarterback keeper, and he has got a host of Buckeyes wrapping him up down there.
Yeah, that's
I believe the first guy there was Hagler.
Well, from his nose guard, one technique position, he's usually the first guy there. And I cannot overstate how good Tyler Hagler has become. I mean, he is a Division I prospect. He's got eyes on him like A&M. He's over 300 pounds down there.
But he runs, but he can run. He's athletic.
He put a spin move on that Coach Metzel had in the highlights 2 weeks ago.
I'm disappointed we don't use him as a fullback, man. I'll tell you right.
Don't give away any secrets. That might be coming.
Everybody shifts to the right. And they're showing punt here, but we're watching to make sure. Nice snap. And that punt's going to kind of go straight in the air. They're yelling fire, get away from it. takes a good Pittsburgh bounce. Look at that bounce all the way down to the 20-yard line, and that's where the Buckeyes will take over 1st and 10.
That was a home cooking roll right there. Because
I'm telling you.
That thing literally rolled further on the ground than it went in the air.
It really did.
And it wasn't a squib kick. It went straight up in the air and kicked. I don't know if it had forward spin on it, but
it rolled a good 20 yards.
That is 20 yards of field
yeah.
position, exactly. 1st and 10 Buckeyes from their own 21, and that ball hit at the 40.
You know, Pate has a good way of doing that, too. He's got a roll on his when he wants it. And that is a real skill. Trip receivers, wide to the right, one to the left, one back. Takes the handoff, dumps a crossing route, completes to number 1. He's going to be at the foot race. To the left side, he's going to get caught over midfield out to the 39-yard line, and that is none other than Caden Tennyson running a little inside slant route.
Yeah, that was on the money. I've just started calling Caden Glue because he really is the guy that's held things together offensively. He is obviously the starting quarterback on last year's team, but that's not his natural position, and his offers for college are at the position he's playing now. So
yeah, 40-yard play there by Caden Tennyson. Here's another inside slant, this time to the G-man, Jeremiah Noble, and that's going to be good for another 1st down as he picks up 13 yards.
Yeah, and it's amazing how good Brady McCowan looks when he can stand back there and throw the football and he's not running for his life.
Yeah, well, that's some of that is because you're not playing the 5A school, and some of it is because you got Lucas Cano's back in the game. So I promise you, there's nobody happier to see him than Brady McCowan. Here's the snap. Fakes the handoff, dumps a quick pass out to Grayson Bates. Grayson breaks one tackle and gets positive yardage, about 6 on that reception.
Yeah, notice something, Jeff. The entire first drive was all on the ground. This has all been in the air. If you think that's accidental, you don't know Alan Metzel.
So Buckeyes quickly moving downfield. They have flipped it 60 yards so far.
Single coverage up on the right-hand side with Jeremiah Noble.
Snap, handoff up the middle, looking for a hole. Bounces to the left side, cuts up, and he will score. Once again, Trill Butler, this time on the left side. Let's watch that replay. Watch how patient Trill is. This is growth, Todd. Watch this. He goes up, there's nothing there. He stays low, sneaks to the right. Look at him cutting back and forth, forcing that corner back there to turn left and right and not be able to take a position on him. That's a great job there by Trill Butler.
Well, not depending on his speed, and you said the magic word, Jeff. That's growth. Right in front of your eyes, Trill Butler is...
Don't outrun your blocks.
Yeah, and don't look now, but Trill Butler's starting to look like that tomahawk guy.
That's right. All right, here's the snap. Kick is up and certainly good. And just like that, Buckeyes are on top once again. Score is now 15-0. Gilmer leads. We'll be right back after these commercial breaks.
Two-time Hall of Fame inductees, Brent Godarzi and Marty Young. Back-to-back #1 trucking firm in the nation. Back-to-back best attorney and best law firm in East Texas.
For nearly 150 years, Crowley Funeral Home has offered the highest quality in funeral services to the families of Upshur County for a fair and reasonable price. Led by Gilmer graduate Troy Murray, our staff stands ready at all times to tenderly guide your family in their time of need in all aspects of funeral planning, such as pre-need and at-need, and all types of services from cremation and memorial services to traditional funerals, with attention to every detail. At Crowley Funeral Home, we've been treating families as our own since 1883.
All right, we are back in Pittsburg Pirates Stadium, where the Gilmer Buckeyes just scored. The score is now 15-0. 4:59 left to play in the first quarter.
Jeff, that was an 80-yard, 4-play drive, 3 passes, 1 run from Trill Butler, his second touchdown of the night. And don't look now, but Trill Butler, halfway through the first quarter, is approaching 100 yards rushing.
All right, here's the kickoff by Pate. They've been kicking them deep. They're going to keep doing that. They're going to kick this one right through the back of the end zone, and that'll come out to the 25-yard line. You know, Todd, we had a couple of commercials playing there on the break while we were getting ready for the kickoff. We had the Godarzi and Young commercial, which they've been with us, I think, since the beginning when we started doing this broadcast a long time ago. And then, of course, Troy Murray there at Crowley Funeral Home. We want to thank both of those guys. Murray has also been with us for quite a while, sponsors the Buckeyes and always there for these kids. So
Well, for us, Jeff, they've been all those guys
Well,
been their whole lives.
They're all friends of ours. Yeah, we went to school with them. We grew them.
Since kindergarten, that's all.
And listen, I hope you never need either of their services, but if you do, you know where to go. I guess we're all going to need Troy's one day.
Eventually,
I hope you don't need Brent and Marty. Handoff up the middle. Buckeyes going to stop that after about a 3-yard gain, maybe 4.
And Jeff, don't be surprised if that's not maybe the longest play of the first half for Pittsburgh, which is a 2 or 3 yard gain. They've completed one 5-yard pass, but I don't think that they have gotten 25, 30 yards of offense at this point. I mean, the black flag is absolutely doing a number up front, and that's where you win the game, is in the trenches, and the Buckeyes are winning on both sides of the ball.
All right, they're going to option that wild pitch. And Pittsburgh picks it up, but boy, they're going to be dropped for a major loss of about 10 yards. They're going to spot that on the 16 or 17-yard line, and that is a big loss, going to bring up 3rd and about 19 for the Pirates.
And Jeff, that's their bread and butter play. He bellies up, and literally by the time he sticks the ball in the belly, Tyler Agler is tackling the running back. He takes 2 steps, and Trey Lee grabs him by the collar, and he flips it out there, kind of wild pitch, goes over the running back's head because he delivered it so early, and backwards they go, literally 14 yards. I mean, not where the Pittsburgh Pirates want to be. 3rd down at about 17.
All right, Pirates, they go to the right side this time with the pitch, and the Buckeyes just all over it. Man, nowhere to go, dropping for another loss, and now it's 4th and about 22 for the Pirates, so the punt team back on the field. Not the start the Pirates were hoping for tonight, first game of district.
Yeah, Jerry Dean, the senior linebacker, really covering some ground on that play, responsible for the pitch man from his outside linebacker position. And I mean, if you're Tristan Abrams, good luck. I mean, just good luck. That running that offense against these Buckeyes is just tough sledding. And I mean, Jeff, it's 4th and 22. I mean, they did nothing to go backwards on that drive.
All right, standing on the 1, here's the punter, and he gets a bad punt off. Takes another good roll. It's going to bounce out of bounds around the 42-yard line of the Pirates. So Buckeyes are set up in great field position, 42 yards to pay dirt. And I tell you, if you're the Pirates and you look on your schedule and you go, we have Gilmer on the first game of district. And before you start hammering on the Pirates, I mean, I really believe when I say this, that other than potentially Carthage, you're looking at what I think is the best defense in 4A.
I'll take Carthage in that group too.
Yeah.
I don't think there is a better defense in 4A than our defense right now.
So don't be too hard on Pittsburgh. They are up against, I mean, some studs. And look at this, a big defensive play coming from the backside there by number 51 for Pittsburgh, chasing down McCowan in the backfield.
And that's just young Zay Taylor, the sophomore, who's just really come on, just kind of missing an assignment outside. He pats his chest and says, sorry, Brady, that's my bad, coming from the backside. That's blocked up schematically. That's just one of those young mistakes, sophomore mistakes, that Zay now has an opportunity to make up for 2nd and 14. And here it is.
All right, handoff. You see the little delay there while they let the blocking scheme develop. You notice that Zay Taylor there took a little stutter step, waited, and let his blocks get in place before he took off. And he gets about 4 yards on that, so that puts the Buckeyes back at the original line of scrimmage. It's now 3rd and 10.
As Zay, just a sophomore, I tell you what, if you're a Buckeye fan, hey, kudos to the Buckeye Army tonight. We outnumber Pittsburgh's Pride easily 2-1.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Proud of the Army. I hope there's nobody at home listening to us.
Empty backfield. They go on a long set. Buckeyes, unfortunately, I think, jump. Over there on the right side, I think we had some motion, so that's probably going to back us up 5 yards. It'll be repeat 3rd down, but it'll be 3rd and 15. You don't see a lot of those.
No, it's offside, Jeff. That's offside.
They're going to call that against Pittsburgh. Joe Dodd is in shock right now that the Buckeyes got that call. He is literally down there
shaking his head.
He's buying a corn dog for the refs right now as we speak. 3rd and 5. He's in disbelief. He doesn't know what to think. Buckeyes got a call. Trip receivers, wide to the right, one to the left, one back in the backfield. From the shotgun. Yeah, he'd already written it down against the Buckeyes. had to erase it. Dropping back, McCowan finds his target at the 30-yard line.
Nice.
And that is going to be for a first down. That was caught by Manson, number 9.
Yeah, and Taj is one of those long receivers, Jeff. Really young, but I tell you what, if these young receivers keep coming on like this, things are going to get exciting.
Handoff. Zayd Taylor immediately got somebody on his back. He's able to drag him for maybe a yard. That's going to bring up 2nd and 9.
And again, this is 4-down territory for the Buckeyes, who are in one of those scenarios where they have a chance to control things, right? Control the line of scrimmage. And it's clean play. You haven't seen any penalties against the Buckeyes, clean blocking up front. And more importantly, you've seen Brady McCallum play clean. He steps up, delivers in the end zone.
To the end zone, and that is a touchdown from the backfield, number 19, Zayd Taylor.
What a look by Brady McCallum, who's getting pressure on that. Stepped up, saw the white jersey downfield, delivered a strike on the move. That is great quarterback play, and not only now, but Brady McCallum is starting to come on. I think he's perfect so far in this game. I don't think he's throwing an incompletion.
I think you're right. I tell you what, those white jerseys are a nice target, too. They look sharp tonight. Buckeyes have, 13 different combinations or something they can wear, but they chose all white tonight as visual. I love it. I think they look great.
Great hold there by
he pulled that one down. Caden Tennyson had a little bit of a high snap, pulled it down, and the Buckeyes go up once again. It is now 22-0. Buckeyes lead with 40 seconds of the first. We'll be right back.
There's a real advantage to being a Gilmer National Bank customer. From the low fees on commercial loans and the hassle-free process and ease of local decisions. If you appreciate personal service and great savings rates, no matter what your age, come see us today in Gilmer or Longview, where the pace is a little slower and the smiles a little brighter. Because we want to hear you say,
Gilmer National Bank. That's my bank.
Gilmer National Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
All right, we are back here in Pittsburg, Texas, where the Buckeyes now lead 22-0 with 40 seconds left in the first quarter. Buckeyes set to kick off. Our last sponsor there that you saw was Gilmer National Bank. And who in the world has sponsored more for Gilmer ISD over these last forever than Gilmer National Bank, right? First National Bank, Gilmer National Bank, those guys have been around for Gilmer's for a long time. And we got a whole bunch of great new banks that are also in town sponsoring the Buckeyes. Want to thank the fine folks from Gilmer National Bank. Here's the kickoff. It's going to be fielded on the 7-yard line over on the left side. Cuts back across. And I tell you what, they are elusive. He's going to get tackled on the 20, but that's the third time tonight that the kickoff, we've had a kickoff man run by him and try to grab a shirt or something. And they're getting downfield quickly, but they got to set up on the runner a little bit so they don't run by them.
Yeah, do not underestimate the talent of the Pittsburgh athletes, Jeff. They got some talented guys. Of course, last week when you saw a 5'8" guy, and let me tell you something, that guy we saw last week that rushed for 200 yards in the first half,
yeah,
that guy you will see playing on Saturdays and maybe even Sundays.
There's no question.
That is a LaMichael James type moment where you look back and say, didn't he used to play that guy?
Yeah, there's no question. I mean, he had 3 touchdowns and over 300 yards in that game. I mean, that guy is a dude. Proud of the Buckeyes for being able to hold, just to contain him. Up the middle, big handoff,
fumble.
Big run, fumble. I think Pittsburgh's able to recover it, and that is their biggest forward progress in the game so far. That is a 6-yard gain.
Now, Jeff, that was a counter trap. So instead of running the guard pulling all the way over, the guard cuts off and traps number 2 in this case, and that is Bates. And then they hand it to the fullback, and he goes right up the middle. That's the best really running play they've had so far.
All right, here's the snap. Quarterback drops back, looking to pass. Throws one as the clock expires. That means we're going to flip the field as that ball falls incomplete. We'll be right back after this commercial break for the beginning of the second quarter.
At Farmers Insurance, we've seen almost everything, so we know how to cover almost anything, even a rock and wreck. He rocked. and rolled right into it. But we covered it. At Farmers, we know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
At First National Bank, together we're better. We're a regional bank, big enough for all of East Texas, that cares and is invested in the people and communities we serve, with the strength and services to meet the needs of every customer, big or small. From business financing for big companies and small mom and pops to our family of personal banking customers. First National Bank of East Texas. Together, we're better. And we think that's kind of a big deal.
Todd, we are back in Pittsburg Stadium where the Buckeyes are off to a commanding lead. First quarter score, 22-0. Buckeyes lead, and they have been in command so far in this game tonight.
Yeah, every single play. The Buckeyes obviously did not win the toss, and so they had to play defense first. So 22-point first quarter, that just means you scored every time you touched it.
All right, handoff. Buckeyes showed blitz. Somehow or another, he escapes out to the right side. I thought they handed it off up the middle. That is going to be a very short gain of maybe a yard and bring up 4th and short in dangerous territory. So once again, punt team making their way out on the field. They don't want to give the Buckeyes the ball inside the 30-yard line.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit of statistics. 8 rushes for 82 yards in the first quarter for the Buckeyes. 5 of 5 passing for 97 yards and a touchdown. 2 touchdowns rushing. That is about as good as it gets. 13 total plays for 179 yards for the Buckeyes in the first quarter.
All right, punter gets a good snap. High punt. Going to be fielded on the run and instantly tackled there. And that is ill-advised, catching that punt on the run with 3 Pirates around you. That was number 17, Solomon Jackson. And he's got really good hands, but that is a dangerous thing to do, is to catch a high punt on the run.
Yeah, Solly's tired of looking at Brand back there and says, I don't want to watch. I'm tired of watching him run punts back on fair catches. I'm not fair catching this one. Of course, Solly is so coming on. The grandson of legendary Buckeyes coach James Beal, and the coach of the Bruce Dragons, a man who was so influential in our lives, Jeff, our defensive coordinator when we were Buckeyes way back in the day, and that is Cap Bill's little nephew.
All right, looking at who's here at quarterback now. Quick pass out to the left side, Caden Tennyson to Brandon Webb, and we saw that a lot last year, didn't we? And that is a big gain all the way down to the 25-yard line as they just flipped the field with one pass. And that was Caden Tennyson firing a strike to his good buddy Brennan.
Yeah, and Caden picking up right where Brady McCown left off. That's now 6 for 6 passing for the Buckeyes, and that puts them well over 100 yards on the night, probably about 150 yards passing. They're just on that one big 47-yard pickup there by Brent Webb. That's a nice move on the outside, and just more weapons for the Buckeyes.
Tennyson, quick pass, complete to Webb. Again, one man to beat, and he will beat him and score down the right side. 6 points for Brennan Webb. Nice pass there. But I tell you, Caden looked really good there. Looked great in the pocket and firing strikes to one of his favorite targets.
Yeah, we see the replay. That cornerback tried to jump the route, and Caden saw it and just went ahead and delivered it inside and just threw Webb open. And he only had one man to make miss, which for him was kind of like child's play. And he kind of gave him an inside move, got him to commit, and then just used his speed to get around him. And Jeff, this is right where the Buckeyes left off last week. Braden Payton in once again for the extra point. 29-0, and we are 1 minute and 25 seconds into the second quarter. If you're a Buckeye fan, just hang on and keep watching, because I tell you what, it can't get better.
Well, let's see if it can get better. Let's take a commercial break. We'll be right back.
When tragedy strikes, you don't want to be in a position where you're second-guessing your lawyer's ability or the resolve to get you fairly compensated. When you hire Goddard & Young, you know you're hiring a law firm that has nationally ranked settlements and verdicts. We have over 2 decades of experience holding 18-wheeler companies accountable for their negligent action. Don't make the mistake of hiring anybody else. Hire the best. Hire Goddard & Young.
All right, back to the action in Pittsburg, Texas. The Gilmer Buckeyes a commanding lead, 29-0 with 10:35 left play in the second quarter. And again, you just got to, if you're a Pirate coach and you look at the schedule and you go, oh my gosh, returning state championship, Gilmer Buckeyes, who have a team that can probably go back and do it again this year. And they're our first game in district. You got to hate that. But we wish the Pirates well this season. Hope they finish well. Here comes the kickoff by number 0, Braden Pate. And he puts his foot in. It makes it look so effortless. Kicks it all the way to the 5-yard line. Returning, running to the right side, got some room, and finally brought down past the 30-yard line, about the 34. Is probably where they'll spot the ball. Nice return there by Pittsburg.
Yeah, kudos out there to number 12 for the Buckeyes on coverage, who had outside contain, and that is Trace Haynes. And I tell you what, that is Ashton Haynes' little brother. And we're waiting on Trace to come on, too. Trace about 6'4", long frame, talented wide receiver. And just these young names, Jeff, that you are going to hear more and more over these next, hopefully, 10 weeks. Solomon Jackson, Trace Haynes. I mean, you obviously have Zaid, the sophomore, that has come on the last 2 to 3 weeks at the running back position because he had to, because everybody's hurt. So the depth now starts to show up. And, Jeff, you start to see the method of the madness for Coach Metzel in scheduling the way he schedules for the first couple of weeks. We told you, Buckeye fans, don't panic. And you are now seeing with the first game of district why these Gilmer Buckeyes have done nothing but come out here and stop Pittsburg in one series every single time they've been on the field.
Well, I told you, Todd, we've played 5 state championship level quality games. Your playoff games may not be as good as the first 5 you watch this season. I'm telling you.
Probably
other than probably Carthage, and I'm not sure what else we'll see.
Maybe whatever comes after Carthage.
Yeah, exactly.
The interesting part for Buckeye fans, I've been asked about this, is once again the Buckeyes just shut this down for the 4-yard loss, because Pittsburgh does nothing but go backwards in that dive play. But it's the same scenario, Buckeye fans, as last year. The first place team out of our district will basically be between us and Pleasant Grove. And between us and Pleasant Grove.
Don't count out Van.
So in the first quarter, Gilmer has 10 rushes for 56 yards, 5 for 5 passing for 80 yards. So we got the stats on the first quarter of that pretty much Buckeye perfection there.
Handoff once again up the middle, going nowhere. But finish your thought, Todd. You were talking about the first round. Whoever wins district.
Exactly. So whoever wins district is likely going to have to play the second place team in our district again, which last year was us.
Yep.
And it actually proved advantageous because the loss to Pleasant Grove meant that we did not have to play Pleasant Grove, and Pleasant Grove played Carthage to a tough game, by the way. Carthage was lucky to win that game.
Yeah, they were.
And we got them the next week. So the winner of our district is going to pretty much have to play two of the top 5 teams in the state, that being Carthage and Pleasant Grove.
Big punt here. Nice punt. Hits a Pittsburg Pirate. It takes a little bit of a Pirate bounce all the way out to the 30-yard line. So Gilmer takes over 1st and 10 on the 30. You're exactly right, Todd. That couldn't have worked out any better for us last year.
It was perfect.
It worked out great.
And I remember talking to some of the kids after the game and saying, look, this is the best thing ever happened to us. Why? Because we were still figuring out on defense what the heck we were doing. The Pleasant Grove game was one of the first games of the district season. So we were not the same defense. Literally nobody was even playing in the same position. And we had to completely rebuild that defense behind Tommy Edwards, which we did successfully, obviously. But this year, we're going to probably have to beat Pleasant Grove twice and Carthage once if we're going to go back to a state championship game.
All right, Tennyson back in at quarterback here. 2 receivers wide to the right. Handoff. Up the middle, found a gap. Number 3, Butler, brought down after a gain of about 7. And Tennyson looking good in his old familiar position. I tell you, there's not a more versatile player on the field than Caden Tennyson.
Glue. That's why I call him Glue.
Yeah,
he can use him anywhere and hold it all together.
They use him as a back. They use him as a receiver. They use him as a corner. He's the holder. He plays anywhere on the field they need him. A lot like they used Aaron Bell last year. Pass complete, a little slant route. That's going to be out to the 50. That'll be enough to move the chains. Yeah, he is just one of the most, he's just a tough kid, a hard runner, and just a good kid. You talk about good quality. Todd, something just dawned on me. we've been doing this now, I guess, 23 years or so. Do you realize that we're starting to see kids of people that we watched when we first started college? We got the kids here now.
Let me tell you, I'll finish that thought after this play. Solly Jackson in on that last catch.
Setting up the screen and just not able to get it put together. We've struggled putting the screen together all year.
Yeah, that was the first incomplete pass by the Buckeyes all night. Comes on pass number 10, and that was a screen pass meant for Trill Butler. And that was kind of open, but some new guys playing new positions on the line of scrimmage tonight. Just trying to figure out that screen game is a hard thing to figure out if you've never played that position.
All right, 2 receivers left, 2 rights. Empty backfield. Here's the snap. Caden Tennyson's going to keep it. Quarterback keeper, and boy, I tell you what, one big defensive lineman did a great job staying home and took him down, and if he hadn't been there, that might have been a lot of green grass.
Yeah, when you say big defensive lineman, you're not exaggerating. That guy's about 6'5", 310 pounds, and he has made his presence felt on the inside. He's lined up directly against Lucas Cano, who's done a number on him so far tonight. You know, kind of the heart and soul of the Buckeye offense. Lucas really controlling things. He makes all the calls up front, and back from appendicitis, we're good. We're glad to have him back tonight.
All right, they're going to blow that dead, and that is a timeout on right at the clock. And Pittsburg out here getting onto the boys. They took a timeout. We're going to take a quick timeout. We'll be right back.
It's gonna be all right.
Juicy's Burgers, serving you for over 40 years.
Back to the action here, folks. With 6:44 left to play in this first half, the Buckeyes once again 3rd down and about 9. Here comes Braden McCowan back in at quarterback. Trill Butler in the backfield with Braden Pate blocking. And once again, we talk about these young receivers. Trace and Solly both out on the same side. That is just exciting to see those young guys.
Yeah, let's watch them hand off around the right side. And it is Butler again, and he is just, I think he's over 100 yards for sure now. If he cuts around the right side. Flag on the play, though, and where it's spotted, it's more than likely going to be called a hold against the Buckeyes. Let's look here, see if we can see a hold. Yeah, right there. You can see where the receiver got in there, and they held him up a bit, so they're going to back that up. That was a good call there by the ref.
And we bragged on Lucas, and now they threw a flag at him.
I watched the replay. He wasn't alone. He had a buddy there with him that was helping. but Lucas took the fall on that one. Trip receivers to the left side, one to the right, one back in the backfield. Of course, it's Butler. McCowan. Here's the snap. Handoff, Butler. Not a lot of room to run. He gets a little bit of positive yardage, but that is going to be the first big 4th down that the Buckeyes have faced in this game tonight so far. It's 4th and about 15. So this will be interesting to see if they punt it. I think they have confidence that they could actually go for it and then stop the offense. But it'll be interesting to see what they. Yeah, they're going to punt.
Punt it. And I think that if you're Tristan Abrams back there, you say, "Oh, great! Now we see the best punter that we're going to see all year again." All he does is basically put fields and put balls out inside the 10-yard line.
Well, he's just his foot. I mean, this kid's just gifted. And takes a big Buckeye bounce and out of bounds around the 20-yard line or so. So Pittsburgh comes back in with their offensive unit. 1st and 10 from around the 20-yard line. And going to try to get some momentum in this game. Get back in. It's 29-0 with 5:38 left in the second quarter. And Todd, I don't know if you know this or not, but next week is the Jamboree.
Yes, it is. And interesting this year because the Buckeyes have all week off from school. They do not have all week off from practice. The Buckeyes are used to doing 2 things, playing during Jamboree and playing during Thanksgiving. That's kind of become a tradition over the last 22 straight years for the Buckeyes. Not many schools can say that. Not many programs can say that. But for these Buckeyes, they kind of take it all in stride. And Coach Metzel lets the guys do everything from dancing the pageant to show their chickens and everything else. And these guys have handled it very, very well year in and year out. And
nice pass there. A big pump fake by the quarterback from Pittsburgh. And we got late hits on the Buckeyes over on that far sideline. So not only is that going to be the biggest play of the night for Pittsburgh, they're going to tack on 15 more for unsportsmanlike conduct.
Yeah, that's the stuff that if you Coach Metzel will drive you absolutely nuts. It's pre-snap penalties, and then it's those, let's just call them mental errors, where you got a guy that's out of bounds and you got one more guy that's trying to get around the ball. The Buckeyes put an emphasis on being close to the ball as possible when the whistle blows. But if the guy's out of bounds, let's don't be that close. Puts Pittsburgh into Buckeye territory for the first time all night long. 1st and 10 from the Buckeye 46.
All right, 2 receivers wide to the left. Motion. Quarterback turns around, pitches. Nice setup there on that pitch. And we've got a flag on the play. That's going to probably be holding against Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I'm glad they call that both ways.
I tell you, that's a great little pitch play, though, you know it?
Yeah,
coming around the backside.
It's run to the field side, so you got enough room, and you got hats out there, as Alan likes to say. You got just enough blockers. But number 50 was pulling guard on that play and basically tackled Kai Kennedy. And Kyle was trying to come upfield. He plays that technically so well, but that was a legal blindside block, so that's a 15-yard penalty, Jeff. That's not just a holding penalty. That is an illegal blindside block.
And so Buckeyes get their 15 yards back.
Yeah, we got that one back. And then, unfortunately for the Pirates, it's going to be 1st down and 22 yards as they need the 36-yard line for a 1st down of the Buckeyes, and they're snapping this from their own 40.
Looking at the sideline, calling audibles. 13 seconds left on the play clock. 2 receivers wide to the right for Pittsburgh. Motion once again. Quarterback drops back, trying to set up a screen, looks like, throws it wide and knocked out of bounds by Kennedy immediately.
Complete pass for a -2 yards. You probably should not have caught that pass. Kai Kennedy is getting out there. He's limping a little bit, kind of coming off the field now, as I think he turned his ankle a little bit on that tackle. That may be the one that Kai tried to make a break on the ball because he thought it was going to hang up long enough to be able to intercept it, and if he does, there's nothing but green grass. But when he plants his foot, that left ankle kind of turns over on him a little bit there, so he'll have to walk that one off.
Motion, and we got illegal procedure, I think, going to be called against. They went for it on that one. I tell you what, they caught it out of bounds, but double coverage, but and we got another flag down there.
Now, I don't know who.
I'm not sure if
somebody said something.
Well, it wasn't one of our guys. They were walking away, so I don't know what was said down there where the pass was caught. But I think we had illegal procedure. Well, it was caught out of bounds.
Yeah, that's got to be offsides against Gilmer, and they will not take the result of the play, obviously, but they will take the flag that gets them the most. And if that is against Gilmer, it's going to be a 1st down and move them back. So, yes, offsides against Gilmer. That's declined. Defensive pass interference. Now, that is a wild call.
Well, that was a late flag for pass interference. I guess he got stuck in his pants because that came out late. I did not. Yeah, the pass was caught a yard out of bounds, so I don't, we're going to honor the wishes of the referees. That's what we're going to do, folks.
Yeah, that's going to set them up 1st and 10. Now back into Buckeye territory at the Buckeye 47-yard line. And so, Jeff, they dug a huge hole, and then they got a bulldoze backfield from the B9 dozer there on that PI play. 1st and 10 the hard way for the Pittsburgh Pirates.
All right, dropping back again. Going to go long again. They thinking, hey, man, what do we got to lose? And that ball was just underthrown and not catchable.
Yeah, that is just good coverage there. And that's number 10, Amari Morton. that gets his head turned, which is exactly what you got to do and not draw a flag. He's running stride for stride, but does a good job turning and finding the ball. If you're Pittsburgh, the bad news is it stops the clock, and you want this clock to run as much as you possibly can if you're Pittsburgh to limit the snaps of the Buckeyes, but you got to try to crawl back in this game, and so they throw it up deep, and all they did was throw a long incomplete pass.
Fakes the handoff. Nope, handoff left side. Nice hard run there by the Pittsburgh Pirate. And he's going to be slung down after a gain of about 6 yards. Going to bring up 3rd and 4.
And this may be 4-down territory here for Pittsburgh, as we got number 50 that kind of turned his knee there for the Buckeyes, who comes out.
Yeah, that's Rashad Buchanan, freshman.
Yeah, Big Rashad's come up because we've got Davion that is kind of taking a breather. And so
just a little freshman, Todd.
Yeah, little to the tune of about 6'2", 270.
Oh man, one receiver left and right. Quarterback keeper found some green grass, and man, he got hit, but stays on his feet to his credit.
That's number 2, Bates,
and gets his as we got some fighting going on, got another flag down there. That'll probably be on both of us more than likely. I don't know. I couldn't see down there who was holding who.
Yeah, number 50 really had Bates down, who came up and made that big hit from his linebacker position. And
was that Bates who made an initial contact?
Yeah, that was Bates that came up and hit him.
I thought it was too. I thought it was number 9 that came up.
9.
Yeah, that was Manson who came up. Taj came up and hit him. But the quarterback, to his credit, he stays on his feet and drives forward for the, gets the first down. But then afterwards, we had a little extracurricular. So it'll be interesting who they call this on. They may call them on both. Sometimes, they'll say offsetting penalties.
But obviously, a bunch of Buckeyes jumped in to kind of get their teammate Bates, because number 50 had him on the ground, literally, as they say in NFL films, giving him the business. And that actually was an NFL call back in the 90s. Is they called personal foul, giving him the business. That's exactly what was happening. He had him down on the ground, kind of grabbed him by the shoulder pads and banging him against the ground. And that's when the Buckeyes kind of gained to the defense of Grayson Bates. And the flag came very, very late. And now Coach Metzel is basically saying, wait a minute, there's no way that that's offsetting, because the initial action was obviously against Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I'm looking at Coach Metzel's his body language, and he is evidently not going to like this call.
Yeah, Allen is basically saying, look, you were standing right here.
Yeah, it is offsetting penalties. Yeah, just as we suspected. Yeah. Allen saw evidently what was happening, because he's not going to question a ref if it's not something he's positive about.
If Allen is not over here chewing on one of our kids, then you can already know that what exactly happened.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. So he saw what happened, and, since one of our guys went in trouble, he must have, he knows what happened.
Yeah.
One receiver left, one right from the shotgun. Here's the snap. Quarterback drops back, fires one, cross middle, intercepted. Number 7, Brennan Webb, going to be tackled in the 30-yard line. But Webb comes up with his first pick of the game, and the Buckeyes offense will take over.
Yeah, that was one of those plays where the Buckeye defense just went, you know what, we're just gonna go fix this right now. And they get the ball back, and here comes Brady McCowan, 1st and 10 from his own 29 with 3:11 left. Buckeyes lead 29-0. And Jeff, if I had to guesstimate what's going to happen here in the last 3 minutes, this is 4-minute offense. The Buckeyes are 71 yards away, but I don't think it's going to take that long.
All right, handoff. Jet sweep, number 17. Around the right side, and he is going to be good. We got flags on the play as number 5 just throws down after the play, just throws Braden Pate to the ground.
Braden Pate basically says, gotcha. And I don't think that they're going to let Braden get away with the gotcha.
Yeah.
I think once again this is going to be offsetting what should have been
come on.
against Pittsburgh.
That's not offsetting penalties for sure.
Yeah.
That was Solomon Jackson on the carry for the Buckeyes. Personal foul against Pittsburgh. They're going to mark off 15 yards. Yeah, Braden was completely innocent there. He just got slammed to the ground. He's like, man, what'd I do?
That is called football IQ there by Braden Pate. He just picked up 15 yards on the play. Never touched the ball.
Absolutely. That's exactly right. Somebody should give him credit for that.
Yeah, it's like he's a coach's kid or something.
Yeah, and look at Braden Pate out here playing wide out. Trips to the left side, including Braden Pate. And they're pump faking. Downfield they go. I think that's Jeremiah Noble down the left side. Big gain, finally knocked out of bounds around the 25, 23-yard line.
And folks, that is just a great read as we see the replay. Watch Brady McCown. He pump fakes to the outside. That opens the seam, freezes the corner, and he delivers a strike to number 13, the G-man, Jeremiah Noble. Takes it all the way down to the 22-yard line. And like I say, Jeff, I don't think it's going to take that long. And Brady McCown making me look like a prophet there.
All right, handoff. Butler bounces out to the left side. Got a lot of black hats over there. He doesn't get much on that one. Maybe a yard.
That's a broken play that was up front, Jeff. I think we had a tackle literally kind of pulled the wrong direction. And again, guys kind of playing different positions now because Lucas is back. But they kind of juggled around him. And so not unexpected that we won't have a few bobbles on the line tonight.
All right, firing a bullet. Number 17, Jackson, on the reception, and he is going to be very close to he's going to get the first down. He gets down at the 10-yard line. So that'll move the chains. 2:32 left to play in the first half. Gilmer leads 29-0.
17-13 Van over Spring Hill as we see the scores pop up. Pleasant Grove over Parrish in district competition, 28-0. And then here in our game tonight, the Buckeyes open are 29-0 so far with 2:15 left to play in this first half. Buckeyes driving in the red zone.
McCowan, quarterback, hands off to Butler up the middle. Butler lowers his head, gets down close to the 5-yard line. They'll probably spot it on about the 6.
And if you're the Buckeyes, that's kind of exactly what you want to do, which is run clock. That big chunk play to Jeremiah Noble kind of flipped the field, got him down, knocking on the door of the red zone. That pass to Solly there kind of cemented it, but you've still got 2 minutes left to play, so the Buckeyes are going to play a little bit slow here, use some play clock. And if there is such a thing for this fast break offensive, scoring slow, this is the Buckeye version of a layup.
All right, here's Butler in the backfield. One receiver wide to the right. Here's the snap. Handoff to Butler, left side. Nice defensive play there by Zero for Pittsburgh.
And that's going to bring up 3rd and goal now. So the Buckeyes most likely going to go to the air here. Now, folks, if they don't go to the air, Coach Metzel's pretty much telegraphing he's going to go for it on 4th down. If he throws the ball here into the end zone, that's probably a good indication that you're going to see on 4th down the leg of Braden Pate as Jet comes in to the game here. And the Buckeye offense is going to probably call one of their best plays. They've got 2 receivers out to the field side here, now 3.
All right, pass complete to Jackson on the right side, flag on the play. And I didn't see anybody around there to be holding, so that may...
I think they're going to call Caden Tennyson on a hold there. That was thrown right at him, and number 1 was the only other guy that was there. And I think that's going to back the Buckeyes up another 10 yards. And frankly, Jeff, it gives the Buckeye offense a little bit more room to operate through the air. It is a very hard thing to do when you get down this close to the goal line within 10 yards and throw the ball in the end zone. Yeah, that's against Caden Tennyson. Illegal block in the back, but it's difficult because the defenders don't have as much, green grass to defend.
I think they may have called that on number 26. Yeah, I think that was probably called on McDonald.
So sorry about that, Caden.
Yeah, look at this, man. Give Caden a break, man.
calling him out for something he didn't do.
He was innocent.
Yeah, he's like Donald Trump.
Yeah, 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right, with 1 back in the backfield. Oh, Lord, that was...
39 seconds left.
Please hurry up and snap the ball. I can't stand the awkwardness. Here's the snap. McCowan drops back, looking downfield, moves out of the pocket, fires out of the end zone. Ball's going to fall incomplete. It's 4th down, so they're probably we're going to get some field goal practice.
That was Brady McCowan's first incomplete pass of the night, which is pretty impressive all by himself because there's really nothing to do. That's 9 passes, and he has got a 90% completion rate in the first half for close to 200 yards and a touchdown. And here is Brady Pate with a 36-yard field goal attempt. Great hold there by
he's going to be short.
And that is going to be short and returnable.
Pittsburgh returning it down the right side. And our kicker just happens to be a middle linebacker that takes him out. And that is unusual for Pate.
Here's what was unusual. That was a ground ball back to number 1, Caden Tennyson, who kind of scooped that up and got it on the tee late. And Braden had kind of seen that bounce and kind of tried to hesitate a little bit, which threw his timing off. So it's not unexpected anyway, because Grayson Bates is normally the snapper and the deep snapper, but he's not doing that tonight. He's standing here, and the first person that Brady Pate comes over to talk to is Grayson, because that was just one of those snap things. That is not going to be the case in the future as Grayson is back for his first game in a couple of games, coming off of a little injury there, and that will clean up as the year goes on.
All right, handoff. Up the middle, going nowhere.
Jeff, you notice something, that as soon as anybody in a different color jersey of the Buckeyes hits number 54, all of a sudden everybody's going the opposite direction. I'll tell you, Tyler Hagler and how good he is, folks, is not to be understated, nor is the way these Buckeyes played here in the first half. 29-0 Buckeyes lead. We will come right back.
Before we go to commercial, for those listening on YouTube, which is most of you, be sure to like and subscribe Official Gilmer Buckeyes. That does a wonder for the channel, promotes the channel. If you'll click the notification bell, you'll get an alert every time we broadcast, whether it's football, graduation, basketball, volleyball, and possibly even baseball and softball.
So how about that?
We're
so fancy.
We really are. But I'm sitting here stunned because we've been doing this so many years, and I've never heard Eric Connitz take the mic and just. He was fantastic. You're the magical tones of his voice.
Well, number one,
this guy should be doing this for. What are we doing here?
Number one,
he's sitting here behind the camera. He ought to be on the mic.
Let me just tell everybody out there. Number one, Eric Connitz is Todd Connitz's big brother. Okay, let me just remind everybody that.
Who's Todd Connitz?
I have no idea, but ain't nobody put on the radio. That's for sure. Buckeyes lead 29-0. We'll be right back with the award-winning sweepstakes Buckeye Band and the Stars, and we will have that right after a few messages, and then we'll have halftime stats for the second half of the Juicy's halftime show coming up right after this.
Don't settle for the other guys when you could have the best. Only at Juicy's.
But they didn't put their name there. Okay.
I've got 5. I've only got 6 for, I'm sorry, 5 for 69, and then them 5 for 55. I had us for 326 yards. 326 yards. And then with 15. I could have been something. I got us.
Braden Pate, senior, middle linebacker, fullback.
Caden Tennyson, class of 25, senior, corner, and quarterback.
Grayson Bates, class of 25, inside linebacker, fullback.
Shoyan Butler, senior, running back, cornerback, outside linebacker.
Micah Easley, class of 2025, wide receiver, DB.
Alex Gann, senior, D-line. Adrian Jimerson, senior, corner, running back.
Brendan Webb, class of 2025, receiver, safety.
Taj Manson, senior, receiver, DB.
Amari Morton, senior, DB.
Kai Kennedy, class of 2025, the freakiest outside linebacker.
Trace Haynes, junior, receiver, and DB.
Jeremiah Noble, senior, wide receiver, free safety.
Alex Sims, running back, linebacker, number 14.
Xavier Paramector, junior, running back, linebacker.
Brady McCowan, class of 25, quarterback.
Solomon Jackson, receiver, and DB.
Max Walker, senior, receiver, corner.
Zay Taylor, class 27, outside linebacker, quarterback.
Mason Denton, senior, fullback, inside linebacker.
Drake Smith, class of 2026, receiver, DB.
Josiah Merrill, senior, running back, outside linebacker.
Jerry Dean, senior, middle linebacker.
True Griffin, 11th grade, running back, corner.
Devin McDonald, junior, middle linebacker.
Gavin Ford, junior, corner receiver. Dylan Griffin, I'm a junior, and I play outside receiver and safety.
Raylan Hawkins, junior, running back and outside linebacker. Sidney Duhoy, running back, corner, senior.
Marion Ingram, junior, outside linebacker and running back.
Hudson Wynn, I'm a senior and I play D-line.
Tavy Reed, I'm a senior, and running back and inside linebacker.
John Henry Gilo, inside linebacker, fullback, junior.
Clyde Lindsay, senior, fullback and outside linebacker.
AJ Johnson, junior, inside linebacker, fullback.
Zach Robinson, junior, running back, middle linebacker.
Trey Lee, junior, D-line and tight end.
Traylon Jones, class 2026, D-end, fullback.
Davion King, sophomore, D-line, fullback, and tight end.
Corbin Jones, junior, inside linebacker.
Jeff Bates, junior, D-end.
Michaelan Granville, class of 2027, D-line, fullback.
Jaden Holiday, I'm a junior, play outside linebacker and fullback.
Jonah Owen, junior, inside linebacker, fullback.
Malachi Johnson, junior, D-line.
T-Bone, I'm a senior, and I play defense and offensive line. Justin Anderson, O-line, D-line, senior.
Noah Fothery, junior, O-line, D-line.
Tyler Hagler, class of 2026, defensive line.
Jackson Neely, junior, O-line, D-line. Hunter Burney, O-line, D-line, senior. Ah!
Brett Williamson, junior, O-line, D-line.
Fernando Delgado, I play D-line, and I'm a senior. Aiden Summers, senior, O-line, D-line.
Rylan Jones, junior, O-line, D-line.
Chance Walker, junior, O-line.
Felipe Rocha, senior, O-line, watch out.
Ryan Andrews, senior, O-line.
Ismail Kamara, sophomore, offensive tackle.
Lucas Cano, senior, O-line.
Sammy St. Williams, junior, linebacker, running back.
Jaden Thomas, junior, wide receiver and cornerback.
Kelson James, junior, punter, kicker.
Miguel Castaneda, junior, kicker and wide receiver.
Texas Heritage National Bank would like to invite the Buckeye Nation to visit our new full-service bank in Gilmer. We are conveniently located on Highway 271 and Redbud Street with a brand new facility ready to serve our friends and neighbors. We offer competitive rates on all of our deposit products, as well as some great options for business financing to help your business grow from 5 employees to 500 employees.
Texas Heritage National Bank would also like to take this time to thank all of the teachers, administration, and school board for investing in the future of our kiddos. We would also like to wish all of the student athletes a wonderful and safe year. Come see us soon. La Finca Mexican Restaurant is my favorite restaurant in the world. An East Texas favorite for over 37 years, everyone with any taste agrees La Finca has the best Mexican food in Texas. But I want to share some of my personal favorites with you that maybe you haven't tried yet. Dina and I both love the ribeye steaks at La Finca. Ribeye steak and a baked potato, you can't go wrong. And if you happen to be a hamburger connoisseur, La Finca has one of the biggest and best hamburgers in town. Absolutely fantastic. And finally, never, and I mean never, leave La Finca without having a slice of Olga's homemade carrot cake or tres leche cake. Trust me, it'll change your life forever. La Finca, supporting the Gilmer Buckeyes for over 37 years. Chad Burkhalter and Gary Vestal are your Gilmer Edward Jones financial advisors. We're all about financial investments, but we also value the investments of time, patience, and encouragement our young athletes receive from their coaches, teachers, and mentors. That's why Chad and Gary are proud sponsors of our state champion Gilmer Buckeyes. Call 843-2023 or 843-5794 or visit edwardjones.com for all your investment needs. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Back to the action here in Pittsburg Pirates Stadium in the Juicy's halftime show. Joined now by the guru on our stats, Mr. Joe Dodd. Joe, 29-0, and I can't wait to hear the numbers because, quite frankly, I'm not sure it could have gone any better.
Oh, it always could have gone better, but, I mean, it was pretty good. Obviously, I think you saw the Buckeyes come out, with real intent and purpose and looked that way in the first quarter, and it kind of, slacked off a little bit in the second quarter with some penalties and some weird calls and, just the pace of the game being slowed down by Pittsburgh a lot. I try not to count our chickens before they hatch. I mean, the magic number for the Buckeyes is 30. 95% win percentage if we, score at least 30 points or more in a game for the last 25 years. So we still got 1 point to go there, so let's don't get ahead of ourselves. And if you're a betting man, we were 39-point favorites in this game, so we still got 10 points just to meet the line there. So, but as far as the actual statistics are concerned, it does look pretty good, and obviously it's as lopsided as the score is. Pittsburgh had them down for 15 rushes for a -7 yards.
Wow. That's Dangerfield Tiger defense stuff right there, right? I knew this Buckeye Black Flag defense was playing well, but that's shocking.
I mean, you can just see they blow up the line immediately. So, I mean, immediately they have nowhere to run. So, unless you just get some miracle and get past somebody, most of the time they're stopped before they even get to the line of scrimmage.
Well, thank you, Tyler Hagler.
Yeah, exactly. Well, there's been a lot of guys, but obviously Tyler leads that charge, but there's a lot of guys up front that have been involved in that.
And this is kind of why, Joe, is because when you got three dudes trying to block number 54.
Exactly. I was about to say, it's still thanks to Tyler, but yes. Passing a little bit better because obviously, they're not used to that, and we weren't really counting on them passing the ball very much, but they're 3 of 7 for 22 yards and an interception. So that gives them 22 plays for 15 yards in the first half. So 15 yards of offense given up by this Black Flag defense in the first half. So,
wow.
Now for Gilmer offensively, rushing 15 carries for 94 yards with 2 touchdowns. Passing, 2 quarterbacks obviously out there for the Buckeyes. Both, only had 1 incompletion. 11 of 13.
So 11 of 13. That's where we wound up. So And Brady had 1 incompletion, and Caden had 1 incompletion, correct?
Yes, their last pass each.
And it was in trying to mop up time with the field goal. Okay, that was almost a throwaway, but that's still 90+% completion rate, which is phenomenal.
228 yards passing and 2 touchdowns.
And what was our total yards?
So 28 plays, 326 total yards.
Wow.
And if you're doing the math at home like I did, that's 11.6 yards per play for the Buckeyes and 0.7 yards per play.
That's
for
dominant.
Pittsburgh. So
that is dominant.
Well, we talked about this, Joe, when we were coming into the game tonight. I said, you would, as a coach, you hate to look up and see Gilmer your first game of district when I believe Gilmer has the best, if they're not number one, they're number two, but I think they're number one in all of 4A. Yeah. I really believe that. Yeah. I mean, you could probably even go into 4A Division I, and I'd still put Gilmer's defense against them.
And remember that it was still, this is Game 6. It wasn't until after Game 6 last season that we changed the defense.
Right.
That's correct. That's
the
right.
PG game.
And planted the seed for this defense because we knew what we had coming up. And we said, you know what, just bring them on up anyway. Let's get them in there. Let's change the defense to fit our personnel. And let's go. And, I mean, I tell you what, it worked obviously fantastic last year. We won every ball game after that. And
it's some of the best coaching I've ever seen.
I agree. Now, for individuals, just so you know, obviously when you have those kind of numbers, there's usually going to be a few guys that stand out individually. True. Quarterback, quarterback McCown, 8 of 9 passing for 150 yards and a touchdown. Trill Butler, his first 3 carries were 73 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Well, let's talk about that for a second, Joe, because early in the season with a new quarterback and obviously moving quarterback who happens to have the last name of McCowan, which is kind of, as close to quarterback and royalty as you get if your name is not Manning. So given all that and Brady kind of having the time to adjust, I think you start to see what Brady can do now behind the offensive line that he should have. And that is something that is very, very, comforting and nice to see because I don't think that you have questions, but you start to see how you can have this two-headed monster with Caden in there as quarterback as well. All he did was win a state championship as his starting quarterback last year, but you also see Caden's ability to move around and do other things with his athletic ability. We call him glue on the broadcast because he just holds everything together. Unflappable senior leadership, but his natural position is obviously what he's playing now a lot of the periods of time. But when you can change pace and get a running quarterback in, it just makes things difficult if you're if you're a defensive coordinator on the other side.
And it's funny, that's how it makes it so difficult for those defensive coordinators. You just said a running quarterback. Let's not forget he's passed for about 5,000 yards in his 2 years as starter for Gilmer.
And won a state championship.
And in this game he comes in, he completes his first 3 passes for 76 yards and a touchdown. And I think, we put him out there, periodically in games like this for 2 things. This is just me. But I'm sure the coaches are saying he needs a little bit of work still. He may be a 2-year starter, but you just don't sit him on the bench for the entire season because we may need him, heaven forbid, if we have an injury at quarterback or just in a game, like I said, where we want to keep people off, on their toes. And when you bring him in, you can't just say, "Oh, there's the running quarterback," because he'll light you up for 200 or 300 yards in a game if you just if you play him like that. So that's what gives. And the other thing was not only putting him out there so he has a chance to obviously hone his craft, but to have that on film so all the coaches out there around go, "Oh yeah, number 1 can come in at quarterback anytime and do this." So it's like
just a gentle reminder to all the teams you're going to see in the playoffs of. I don't know what you're going to spend all week doing, but you better spend half that time working on the other guy.
That's exactly right. Think about it. What that does to a defense. You've got 4 days to prepare.
Yeah.
And you've got 2 different totally different styles of quarterbacks that you got to deal with
and prepare for.
Yeah, we're the same offense. Yeah.
And I'll remind
how complicated that makes a defensive coordinator's job.
I'll remind all the Buckeye fans of 2014 when we did the exact same thing with McLean Carter, who was G.J. Kinney's little brother. And then Blake Lynch, who is still playing in the league now, and Blake would come in as that curveball because he could score any time that he touched it, but he could also pull it up and throw it 60 yards in there. So what it does for Buckeye fans that don't really get it is it just makes preparing for the Buckeyes all week long a nightmare.
One last thing, just to give the guys a little love here. 2 of Gilmer's top receivers, Webb and Noble, they're battling it out tonight. 3 catches each. Webb for 73 yards and a touchdown. Noble for 82 yards and a touchdown. So,
the leader's starting to emerge once again.
But then, like you said, throughout the first half of the broadcast, you do see the names that no one spoke last year, and you're seeing a bunch of those too. Now, these are names other than McCown and Butler that, the 2 Webb and Noble were spoken a lot last year. But now you're also getting not only in the running back and quarterback, but you're also getting other receivers are being spoken a lot too, and you're seeing them emerge just like these two did last year. We sat here and watched these two receivers emerge last year, and now you're seeing 2 or 3 more emerge. So once again, you got like 5 receivers for the Buckeyes at least that you don't want to see them catch the ball if you're an opposing defensive
it's just dangerous. And once again, it's kudos to Coach Metzel and the method to the madness of not obviously getting people hurt early in the year and having to play those young guys, but they've played young guys with absolute playoff quality caliber teams that they're playing against, that they're stepping up and having those early experiences. And remember, folks, the Buckeyes lost the first 2 games, but let me remind you, those games came down to the last play of the game. I think it's a coin flip. The Buckeyes could be undefeated right now, or the Buckeyes could be 0-5. And still, this is the result.
I still would have felt the exact same way as I do now, because the quality of teams are so good. And to top it all off, now we're getting into the second half. Guess who gets the ball in the second half?
Yeah, we get to start it. Here we go. And, of course, Trill Butler is going to be deep with Zaid. And as we've mentioned, Webb and Jeremiah Noble. So all of those 4 guys are the deep receiving guys in the 2 different levels. So if you're Tristan Abrams across the way, things don't get a lot of encouraging. You're 0-5 to start the season, and now you're 29-0 down to the Buckeyes to start this second half. And the second half is about to get underway. We will send it back to the voice of the Buckeyes, Jeff Rash, to kick us off here in Pittsburg, Texas.
Yeah, I hate that I didn't have time to talk to Joe about how he thought the refs did that first half, but we'll just have to get that report after the game. Okay, here's the kickoff, and they do a little short kick, almost like a little. I don't know if that was supposed to be an onside kick or what, but I tell you what, number 18 down there fields the ball well, and I tell you what, when you see that ball come at you like that, it's like, hey, that's supposed to go over my head. But Max Walker, the senior, he plays wide receiver and cornerback, and he does a good job of fielding that ball, taking the knee real quick. Nice heads-up play there by Max Walker.
Yeah, that's the Ronnie McNeil baseball player right there that says, I got it, kind of calls that one off, and brings up 1st and 10 with good field position with the Buckeyes from their own 40-yard line.
All right, here's snap, fumble on the play, and that'll be a wasted one. Lose about 2 yards on that one as McCowan, it looked like he just kind of bounced off his fingers. But that'll bring up 2nd and about 12 for the Buckeyes.
And we may just go ahead and run the same play to the opposite side here, Jeff.
All right, here's the snap. Fakes the handoff. Heavy pressure, steps up in the pocket, and able to fire it downfield. What a great play by McCowan to fire the ball downfield, complete to number 12, Trace Haynes.
And we're going to get an illegal man downfield, unfortunately, on this call. That is Trace. That is another one of those young names that you just keep waiting for him to come on, and made a great catch to move the chains. Unfortunately, Brady kind of lied to his offensive line. He said, I'm gonna pass it. I'm gonna pass it now. I'm gonna pull it down and run it. Oh, I'm gonna pass it. And I think Lucas Scano was planted his foot when he saw Brady pull it down and tried to go get a downfield block, and looked up and went, oh no, they threw it.
He was going to go block for his quarterback like he should.
Yeah, doing his job, but like I say, Brady kind of saw it late, and that's just one of those unfortunate things that happens.
Webb goes into motion, drops back, trying to set up a screen. Webb on the run down the left side, big gain, gets back to the original line of scrimmage plus some. That is going to bring up about 3rd and 5, 6?
Yes, very, very smart play call there to
3rd
make that
and 7.
3rd and manageable. And once again, look for number 12, Jeff. I'm telling you guys, when Trace is just going to come on here, I'm just waiting on the opportunity, and seeing him make that catch even with the penalty is a good sign.
All right, McCowan fires a bullet over the top, complete to number 7, Brennan Webb. And he is good for the first down right there. Across midfield to the 48, and that'll move the chains for the Buckeyes.
Yeah, they made that conversion look easy. 2nd down and 19 in a hole, and 2 big completions to Webb, one on the screen pass and then one on the little curl route. Moves the chains into Pirate territory, 1st and 10 from the Pirate 48.
All right, here's the snap, handoff to Butler, and he is trying to find a hole. Not much there. He gains about 2 yards on that carry. It's going to bring up 2nd and 8.
Yeah, that's one of those plays, Jeff, that just keeps everything going positive. Zaid comes back into the game to spell Trill. And it is nice to see that running back room, so to speak, fill back up with talent. And it's not scratching the bottom of the barrel when your young sophomore, Zaid, there has had the last couple of weeks that he's had, especially last week where he just showed out against Brenham.
All right, motion from Webb. Dropping back, looking to pass. Going downfield, going deep. He launches one to number 12.
There's Trace.
And there's Trace. And we got flags on the play, and he's not able to pull it down, but he drew the pass interference call, so that's going to be 15 yards and a first down.
Did he not catch that? Let's watch the replay. As he went up for it.
No, he coughed it up. Ball went into the end zone.
But we do get the pass interference
you can
call.
See what you're talking about there.
Yes,
the athleticism of him.
Now that is
him
Ashton
jumping
Haynes,
up.
That's Ashton Haynes' big little brother. And when I say big, I mean, yeah, you remember Ashton. Ashton is 5'10" and probably pound for pound one of the best running backs the Gilmer Buckeyes have ever had in terms of his talent. Of course, he's playing at the next level now. But Ashton is not that same body type, guys. Ashton is 6'2", going on 6'3", and you can see his body filling out. And you look down at that number 12 down there and go, gosh, that's a good-looking athlete. Yeah, he's standing there next to Brendan Webb, and that guy's going, legit D1. And you kind of go, what? Show me the difference between those two guys.
All right, another pass, slant, and I mean perfectly thrown. What a great route by Jeremiah Noble, who refuses to go down there after the catch, gets inside the 5-yard line. But, man, that was a zinger.
Yeah,
watch this replay.
Watch this pass from McCowan as he just locks in.
Puts it right on the money.
I mean, right between the 1 and the 3.
Nice pass. Handoff. Zaid Taylor, left side. Zaid's going to score.
Touchdown for the young sophomore as he runs through an arm tackle. And you can see, Jeff, he is so strong from the waist down. He is one of the strongest Buckeyes that we have. And he is, not taller than me and you, which isn't saying much. He is a lot faster, but when you talk about strength in his lower body, he just absolutely runs away from that tackle and puts another touchdown on the board for the Buckeyes, his first of the night.
All right, 9:44 left to play in this third quarter. Buckeyes get on the scoreboard quickly. And here comes the extra point attempt. Good snap, good hold, and right down the gut from Braden Pate. And the Buckeyes up once again. The score is now 36-0, 9:44 left to play. We'll be right back after these messages.
Need an oil change? Try the new Buckeye Express Lube, 1 mile from Gilmer on Highway 300. Oil and filter changes, fluid top-offs, multi-point inspections, and tire rotation and repair are just a few of the services they offer. Best of all, you can watch TV and enjoy a complimentary snack while you wait. Jason Horton, a former Marine, thank you for your service, has over 30 years of experience in the business and guarantees the best service in town. Next time you need an oil change, think Buckeye Express Lube on Highway 300.
All right, we're back to Pittsburg. Hey, you saw that last ad there for the Buckeye Express oil change?
Yes, sir.
I've been waiting for my truck to get enough miles so I can go down there and get my oil changed for those guys. I've had several people catch me at LaFinca and said, hey, saw your ad, and we're going to get the oil changed. Went down and got it changed. They said it was fantastic. Got the TV in there. Got snacks, got drinks.
Bar.
Oh, man, it's the place to go.
I've heard that, hey, you might just take all your cars down on Saturday and you just go watch football.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I mean, it may be the best Saturday afternoon you spend along and the most productive.
Yeah, you could lie to your wife and say, well, I got to go get this done. All right, here's a big kickoff. And going to be fielded on, fumble down there around the 8-yard line. Picks it up, and he's going to be dropped at the 10.
Good coverage
by
the Buckeye
different
special teams.
Kicker that time. We want to call out that young man. That was number 84, Miguel Castaneda.
Yeah, you will hear his name a lot in the future, as unfortunately we are going to have our contract run out on Braden, and he is going to go play baseball and probably kick somewhere big. And I'm sure you're going to be watching him on Saturdays too if he decides to go that route. 36-0, Jeff. Joe's got to be happy because we hit the magic number in less than 2 minutes. So we're now over that 30 mark. Once again, 95% winning percentage for the Buckeyes. So I think you kind of maybe knew that was coming, but we'll take it anyway. Buckeye Black Flag defense comes back on the field in excellent shape. The Pittsburgh Pirates got to go 90 yards to put anything on the scoreboard here, Jeff. And lots of young players going to get a chance to play here in the second half.
All right, handoff up the middle. I think that was actually a quarterback keeper. And not going to get very far, maybe just a foot or so past the line of scrimmage. Yeah, you've got some new guys in the secondary back there. Want to recognize those guys playing safety back there. Got number 24, Jerry Dean, checked into the game. Number 18, also Max Walker, checked in back there. Max playing free safety.
Yeah, we got a chance to see Coach Metzel because the visiting team field house is between here and the concession stand. Let's not lie about it. We're not like we went out of our way. But I told Coach Metzel, I said, hey, look, now you just rinse and repeat this stanza 19 more times, and we'll have a great season. Jeff, that may be a backwards pass. They're going to say that's incomplete. Otherwise, that is trouble for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I didn't see what defender came around the back there to knock that ball down, but as the quarterback was about to throw it, got knocked out of his hands.
Yeah, it was kind of funny, Jeff. Allen was kind of wandering around like a lost puppy dog in front of the field house with all of the Buckeye coaches having their groups on the side, and I just said basically, hey, let's just do this 19 more times, and he kind of said, yeah, this is the most boring halftime that I've spent in a long time. Not much to say except for, way to go, guys, way to go.
So Pittsburgh now looking at 3rd and 9, deep in their own territory. Keep it around the right side, and I mean heavy pursuit there by the Buckeyes.
2-yard loss is going to bring up 4th down and 12, and now they're going to have to punt from their own end zone. And, Jeff, this is what happens when you sell out to a one-dimensional offense. I mean, it's a nightmare for Tristan Abrams as Zaid comes back, and he's going to stand about his own 35-yard line to await this punt. But a lot of young Buckeyes will get to play, but the woes continue for the Pirates, who started this year 0-5 and now are well on the road to 0-1 in district play. And here's the crazy part, Jeff. They can win 3 games and go 3-6 and make playoffs.
Yeah,
so
that's for sure.
All is not lost, and there's some talent here for these Pittsburgh Pirates. The Buckeyes have just played
almost
exceptional
blocked
tonight.
that punt, and it went high in the air. Fair catch called on the 40-yard line from Zaid Taylor. Buckeyes take over on the Pittsburgh 40. Great field position.
That's just heads-up football. We still have 8 minutes to play, Jeff, in this third quarter. I'm not sure if we'll see a running clock. Obviously, folks, we started tonight, kickoff at 7 o'clock, which is what the district decided to do. It's getting dark a little bit earlier, so it didn't really feel like it was a late start, but I think after this game's over, it's going to feel like, oh, that game went by fast. No, we just started 30 minutes early.
All right, low snap. McCowan does a good job picking it up, dumps it to the back out of the backfield, who just lowers his head, and I mean, does a great job right out of the backfield. He did not. That was Denton.
That is
Mason Denton and ball carrier, and he's like, I'm not juking anybody. I'm going right through both of these guys. And he had some fun with that one, let me tell you. Handoff once again, this time number 6.
That's
the ball carrier, and that's Jimerson.
And he's a senior, Jeff, and he has been a focal point in this running game for 3 years now. He was forced to come up his sophomore year and play a little bit, but he had a preseason injury and has really just kind of come back. But that's another name that is going to be in the staple of running backs going forward the rest of the season for the Buckeyes.
Handoff once again, Jimerson up the middle. It's good for a couple.
You can see Day-Day's running style is he can plant his foot and change directions and literally never let off the gas.
Buckeyes in a hurry-up offense here.
This is what they like to do with Day-Day because of the way he runs.
2nd and 6. Pass. It is complete. It looks like, I think that's number 7, Webb, out there. Yeah.
It's down to about the 10-yard line, and that is going to move the chains into a 1st and goal scenario from the 9-yard line.
Buckeyes practicing that hurry-up offense. Hand off to Jimerson up
There
the
you
middle.
go.
He's
There's
going to
your cut.
score.
See, that's Day-Day, Jeff. That's what he can do. He had a man right there in the hole. He's got all that experience, but Day-Day has this ability to step with his left foot and put his foot in the ground and not slow down. Let's watch this replay. Watch this. There's that step right there with the left foot. He puts it in the ground and goes straight up the field. Not only does he see it, Jeff, but he's got the innate ability to cut without slowing down. That's what Jimerson brings to this equation. So you got all the speed of Trill Butler. You've got the electricity of Zaid. You got the thunder coming back next week from Sims, and then you got Day-Day. And this Buckeye running game is getting healthy and right at the right time.
Extra point is good. And that was, once again, number 84, Miguel Castaneda, the junior, who kicked that extra point there. We'll be right back after these messages.
Please join Jeff Rash and Alan Metzel each Monday morning for the Gilmer Buckeyes Coaches Show. Every week, Jeff and Alan discuss elements of the program, speak with special guests, give player updates, review key plays from the prior week, and give insights on the opponent for the current week. As a fan, this is your chance to go into the locker room and behind the scenes. To view the Coaches Show, go to GilmerBuckeyes.com and click on the Coaches Show button. Go Buckeyes!
All right, back to the action here in Pittsburg. Gilmer 43, Pittsburg 0 with 6:36 left to play in the third. And it has been all Gilmer tonight as number 84, Castaneda,
and Jeff,
prepares to kick off.
Let's call attention to the Van Spring Hill game. That is 17-16. Van leads Spring Hill. So a very, very close contest in the third quarter there. We'll keep an eye on that score. 42-0, Pleasant Grove leads Paris North Lamar.
All right, good kick there. Down, fielded about a 10. Second one in a row fumbled by Pittsburg, but he found a lane coming back and makes his way out to the 26-yard line on the return. Nice return there by Pittsburg.
Yeah, we will look around and check some of our other live scores from East Texas and start to bring you those scores, starting with the bigger schools, and that's always how the Red Zone has things listed. As we take a live look into the scores around East Texas as Pittsburg comes back onto the field, trailing 43-0, 6:29 left. Jeff, let's let them run a play before we look at some other scores.
Let's let your phone load up over there with that great reception we've got here in Pittsburg. Here's the snap. Quarterback drops back, passes complete to number 18. He'll be instantly brought down, but got a gain of about 4 on that completion.
So we got Longview over Forney, 21-14 in their first district competition. Royce City 14-7 over Tyler Legacy. Tyler High in the 5A division, 24-0 over Cleburne. White House 21-7 over Jacksonville. Hallsville 21-7 over Nacogdoches. Texas High 27-14 over Marshall. That's a surprising score. Marshall really has kind of been a powerhouse this year. But district play just shows you up there in that district in Texarkana, Jeff. It's just crazy. Pleasant Grove and Liberty Ilo and Texas High all within 5 miles of each other.
All right, quarterback keeper, and he is drugged down from behind by number 6. That is Jimerson, now on the defensive side of the ball.
Canton up.
No, I said that wrong. I gave credit to the wrong guy. That was number 5. That was Alex Gillian.
Yeah, Alex Gillian is one of those guys that was probably not going to play tonight with just trying to get his legs back under him. But if he's feeling good, I'm feeling good about him feeling good. 31-0 Canton over Kemp. And Wills Point, no, this is a baseball score. Quinlan Ford over Wills Point 7-5, Jeff.
All right, one receiver wide left, one wide right. Quarterback drops back, heavy pressure. He's going to get sacked.
Yeah, by kind of everybody wearing a white jersey, as they put some big-time pressure on Jasper, leading West Orange Stark 21-13. And, Jeff, that is one of those battles of the Golden Triangle, as they call it down there. And Jasper right now getting the best of West Orange Stark, 21-13 at halftime. Carthage leads Center 28-14. We talked about Van now 17-16 over Spring Hill. Rusk and Bullard tied up at 7. Athens over Brownsboro 27-7 as all these teams start their district play. Lindale 23-7. Tyler, over Palestine. We told you Lindale was good.
All right, Pittsburgh set to punt. Zayd Taylor back deep to receive. Nice high punt. Going to hit the turf around the 48-yard line, take a nice Pittsburgh bounce. Really nice bounce. Roll all the way to the 30-yard line. And that was just a really good punt by Pittsburgh.
So, Jeff, everybody talking about what happened to Kilgore last week against Henderson. They come out tonight, and at the end of the first half, they're up over Chapel Hill 28-0. So that tells you how good Kilgore is after taking the loss last week.
Kilgore is 28-0 over Chapel Hill.
That is a shocker. Henderson trailing Maybank 3-0 after they beat Kilgore.
I told my brother-in-law, who's from Kilgore, they would beat Chapel Hill. I felt like they would. All right, here's the snap. Handoff up the middle. Finding holes. Weaving his way forward. Look at this. And the big scrum and the push gets an extra 5 yards and enough for a first down at the end. And that is great second effort there by not only the running back but the offensive line. Yeah, O-line really getting in there. That was Butler on the carry.
So, Jeff, we've got Caden Tennyson back in at quarterback, just trying to get some good reps.
Tight set by the Buckeyes. Handoff, Jimerson up the middle, got a hole, moving his legs forward, picks up another 12 yards, and a first down for the Buckeyes across midfield.
Yeah, and they're right here in front of us. You see the replay. Watch Jimerson just change directions with almost every step that he takes. It's this jab, step left, jab, step right, jab, step left, jab, step right, and it just absolutely cuts you in half if you're a defender trying to tackle that. As Day-Day can go full speed and change directions. That's really what he brings to the table as running back.
All right, here's the snap. Tennyson drops back, looking to pass, throws one to the outside, and throws it where only number 13. He put that on there perfectly.
That was a perfectly timed dime that looks like they've only been doing that since they've been in about the third grade.
Yeah.
That is Caden to Jeremiah, and those good two have been best buds since about the third, fourth grade. Planning for these moments, and all those reps are showing off right now.
9-yard gain there on the reception. Handoff to Jimerson, who easily picks up another first down, +5.
All these teams starting their district play here tonight.
Are you surprised by that Kilgore Carthage score?
I am. I was surprised last week and I think we were texting back and forth last Friday night. It was a bye week for the Buckeyes, but Henderson jumped out on Kilgore, and Kilgore came back and almost won the game in the second half. But Henderson held them off for a big district win.
I was shocked by that game as well. Again, Jimerson up the middle, weaving through the middle, and he's good for probably about 5 yards on that run. Yeah, I'm a little surprised Kilgore's handle. I figured they would win the game, but I'm surprised that they're handling them the way they are.
Yeah, we saw Kilgore full forward force, and we're so impressed with their defense and athletes. And we predicted then that this is a state championship caliber team.
I think they will win state in Division I. I really do. That handoff goes to Jackson, and not much there, maybe a yard.
Yeah, and you like getting those guys reps and touches and getting used to some contact and being able to use their speed, but I'm just telling you, it's the names you're going to hear over the next 10 weeks if the Buckeyes can go. We've got a flag down and see that on the other side. Let's see what the call is. That is personal foul face mask against Pittsburgh. That's going to tack 15 yards on and add Solly with some solid stats. But when you look at number 17 and number 12 out here, that's Trace and Solly, Jeff. That is an exciting future for the Buckeyes when you look out here and see that kind of physical talent on the outside. And by the way, those are your number 2, if not number 3 guys.
All right, pass.
Trace.
Complete to Trace, cuts it up,
touchdown. Touchdown. I just kind of knew it was coming.
That is Trace Haynes, number 12, the junior on the reception, and touchdown.
Yeah, you just kind of felt it, the last 2 or 3 weeks that Trace is going to come on. And he catches this screen pass, you watch it, makes a good cut. And the thing I like to see is there's no hesitation. He's just running and being an athlete.
I want you to look at something. When these offensive linemen stand up, I want you to look at the size. We're going to zoom in there on these guys. And I want you to just look at the size of these guys. Watch when they stand up and move over. I mean, just look at that humanity. We have never had an offensive size or line that big blocked by Pittsburgh. And they fall on it. And, of course, so Buckeyes not going to get the extra point there. It's going to be 49-0. We'll be right back after these messages.
Don't settle for the other guys when you could have the best. Only at Juicy's.
Back to the action here, 49-0 after Trace Haynes' first catch is a touchdown and an impressive one at that. We kind of had a feeling that you see Solomon Jackson really over the last 2 weeks really start to come on, and coaches and everybody else see it every day in practice, the sheer innate ability that Trace Haynes has. And of course, he is the little brother of Buckeye legend Ashton Haynes, and except for he's not the little brother. He is a big boy, and certainly showed his potential on that last touchdown catch and run.
All right, around the right side, here comes Pittsburgh. Nice return. Best one of the night, in fact, all the way out to the 45-yard line.
Yeah, and bragging on Tracy, he saved the touchdown there. He's got outside leverage and coverage on that, and stays patient and does exactly what he wants. Let the sideline be your friend and just stretch that out. But to your point, Jeff, it is a great return and the best field position that Pittsburgh has had, and they need something to go right for them. Trailing 49-0. Well, let's be honest, the game is all but finished with 1 minute and 27 seconds left here in the third quarter. But it has been the Buckeye Black Flag defense, Jeff, that I think continues to be the story of the year. As so far they've held a very talented, physically talented Pittsburgh team to really zero. You know, Joe Dodd, the stat guru, mentioned 15 total yards in the first half that the Black Flag allow. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's
Buckeyes' heavy pursuit there. They forced him to throw that one away.
That's number 5 once again back there, Mr. Guillen, causing complete havoc in the Pirate backfield.
I tell you what, you know, he's the little guy, and he's huge. And he's the little guy on the defensive line. That's what kills me.
It is nice to have that senior leadership kind of getting back into the flow.
It's kind of like, what, you're not 305? Oh, my gosh. Yeah. You know what I mean?
You're undersized.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Unbelievable. What a great football player, right? Quick pitch out to the left side. Good run by Pittsburgh. Finds a gap right here. And finally drugged down there by McDonald.
Yeah, good job getting off the block there by McDonald and going. But that is the best offensive play of the night. And 33, unfortunately, gets up hobbling.
He turns around here.
I think that's
and you see
Jeff.
McDonald and Duhart in on the tackle for the Buckeyes.
Well, let's take a quick break here while they tend to this young man, and we will be right back after these messages.
All right, sorry for the technical difficulty.
does not happen often, Jeff. I got to say.
Now, we got great producers.
Shout out to Eric and Charlie and Joe that have learned all this new gadget software
don't
and
forget
everything
about
else.
Michael. He's sitting right over here.
Michael's our secret weapon. We don't tell anybody for fear somebody's going to grab him up and make them look good.
Yeah, actually, Michael screwed that last one up, so don't call him out. Two receivers wide to the right. Handoff up the middle, and I don't know why anybody would do that with that defensive line ever. It's like we should have went into the game tonight going, well, we're not going up the middle.
And this, Jeff, we talked about at the top of the show, this has been Pittsburgh's bread and butter all year. They've just gone to this kind of triple I, and Tommy Edwards just basically says, look, this is assignment football. You go back to a tricky offense running the football one-dimensional like the state championship game was last year, and the job that our defense did with in that game, triple option is not something that is scary for these Buckeyes. Is once again they eat that pitch up from no gain, brings up 3rd down and 10 at the end of the third quarter, 49-0. Your Buckeyes lead. 12 more, hopefully fast minutes left to go in this game tonight. Beautiful night here at Pittsburgh Stadium. Beautiful night for the Buckeyes so far as they look to cap off this victory here in the fourth quarter. 49-0. We'll be right back.
Don't screw it up, Michael.
Two-time Hall of Fame inductees, Brent Godarzi and Marty Young. Back-to-back #1 trucking firm in the nation. Back-to-back best attorney and best law firm in East Texas.
For nearly 150 years, Crowley Funeral Home has offered the highest quality in funeral services to the families of Upshur County for a fair and reasonable price. Led by Gilmer graduate Troy Murray, our staff stands ready at all times to tenderly guide your family in their time of need in all aspects of funeral planning, such as pre-need and at-need, and all types of services from cremation and memorial services to traditional funerals, with attention to every detail. At Crowley Funeral Home, we've been treating families as our own since 1883.
All right, we are back in Pittsburgh. Thank you, Michael. Well done. And it is the beginning of the fourth quarter. Gilmer leads 49-0. Joe, was this the score prediction? We were a 49-point favorite. Is that correct?
No, we've gone over by 10, so we've covered
39-point favorite.
39,
39, okay.
Yeah, a massive East Texas high school betting line.
Yeah. So it's all blue sky from here.
Pittsburgh with their deepest penetration of the night.
Handoff up the middle. And fullback fighting for some yardage. Maybe gets 1 or 2, and that is going to bring up 4th down. Of course, they're in 4th down territory here.
They got to go for it. Whatever they got left in the playbook is probably going to come out here. But the good news is, Jeff, is as long as they keep it on the ground, the clock is going to run. 25 seconds left on this play clock. They can eat the entire first minute of the fourth quarter with one play there.
This offense that Pittsburgh's running, they just don't have the size up front to pull it off.
Yeah.
They just don't have the offensive line to pull this off. Quarterback drops back. He's in trouble. Going down, he throws it out of bounds.
They're going to call him,
as he gets hit.
They're going to call him in the grasp.
Yeah, intercepted by Alan Metzel.
Hey, let's see what he does on the run back. Wait, Jeff,
I think he took a knee.
Jeff, how many days do we have to Christmas?
Yeah. He just took a knee.
Buckeyes take over 1st and 10 offensively. And
I'll tell you what, you talk about great coaches that have come through Gilmer and East Texas in general, And you think about Jeff Traylor and Scott Surratt, and you could go on and on. I'll tell you what, Alan Metzel, his name is right there with him.
Well, Jeff, I got to tell you this.
Right with him.
Someone asked Jeff Traylor about, of course, it's also Jeff Traylor's best friend on the planet is Alan Metzel, and then there's probably 20 guys that say that about Alan Metzel.
Everybody says it. I thought I was Alan's best friend.
But, yeah, now we're going to run the clock, and that is a good news because we're going to get out of here in 10 minutes and 8 seconds. But one of the media people asked Jeff Traylor about, hey, what do you think about Coach Metzel after he's going to last year his third state championship in 4 years? And Jeff was the first to say, I didn't do that. I certainly didn't take over the program, go to the state championship 2 years later, and then win one my fourth time around. I'm not the and quote, you say it all the time jokingly in the coaches show. Hey, it's only low expectations that we go to state 75% of the time and win it 25% of the time.
That's
and by
right.
the way, when's that average going to get a little bit better?
And no kidding. I told him, if you retire right now, you have the best record in high school history. How many coaches have been 3 out of 4 of their first years?
Yeah,
as a head coach in one of the best programs in the state. I mean, think about that.
Yeah, he may
it's
get
no small thing.
He may get to 100 wins really fast because he's playing 15 games a year every year.
Yeah, no, he will. He will get there fast. And I believe that was handoff to number 22, if I'm not mistaken. Is that who's in the game?
That is correct, Jeff.
That was handoff goes to 22. That's Merrill, Josiah Merrill. Now they're bringing in number 25, True Griffin, into the backfield.
And both those guys are pretty talented guys themselves, but unfortunately you got 5 other guys in that running
it's
back
like
room.
Braden, my son, he's a pretty good running back, but he was running backs with Ashton Haynes and Will Henderson. I'm like, could you pick a worse year in your, a couple of years to play?
Yeah. Come on, Dad. Come on, give me a break.
Yeah, move me to Harmony, please. True Griffin. He was good enough. He would have started in most programs.
Yeah, but
when you got Ashton Haynes, and he and Ashton all through JV, and when they were younger would switch out back and forth, but
it's like saying I was on the team with Michael Irvin and Emmett Smith.
Exactly.
Yeah, Braden was pretty fast.
Braden was fast. He was one of the fastest guys on the field at the time, but until Will got on the field, and it's like, hello, goodbye.
Well, he was in good company because there was 21 other dudes when Will walked on the field that just became the slowest dude on the field.
That's right. All right, handoff left side. And that was handed to Griffin, number 25. Once again, that was Griffin.
So we're going to run clock here, Jeff, second down, and take a lot of play clock, and that's going to be just slow play call. Brady McCown's going to come in and hand off for the next 7 minutes and 28 seconds. And we will see what some of the other scores here are. Van had kind of pulled away from Spring Hill in the second half, and Kilgore obviously 28-0 over Chapel Hill. We'll keep an eye on that score. Kind of surprising. Lindell up 30-7 over Palestine, and that's not surprising. We know how good Lindell was.
Handoff again. Griffin up the middle. And the Buckeyes just content to run the ball, run the clock.
Yeah, Pittsburgh kind of selling out on the run.
Try to get out of here without injury.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Run clock run as we go under 7 minutes now in this fourth quarter. And we can use all of the play clock. And Jeff, I think Joe's got the binoculars out and he's looking across the way at the snow cone truck trying to place an order. He's saying, "Do y'all got blue coconut slush over there? Pina colada?"
Handoff again to Griffin up the middle, and that's going to bring up 4th down and 5.
So now we're going to click down under 6 minutes. The Buckeyes are going to go punt this football away and try to seal, hopefully not give up a late touchdown. That would be something that Coach Edwards and this Buckeye defensive staff deserve the goose egg tonight, as they have just been dominant. And I mean, everything starts up front for these Buckeyes. And, now we've gotten to this second phase of the season. And, this to me is just justification for Coach Metzel and what we do. You can't find a more prepared team for this phase. And once again, folks, the Buckeyes are just now getting healthy and getting it all back together. As this punt's going to take a Buckeye bounce.
Yeah, big bounce. That was Selson James, the punter, that time. And not a bad job there by Mr. James, who's a junior.
And once again, we're going to run the clock. And I just got to say kudos to the Buckeye Army. I mean, Jeff, they showed up tonight. And
they're still here.
And they're still here.
They're still here.
We're
running the clock 5 minutes, and I've only seen about 3 or 4 people leave.
Yeah, and it's it's that time, cooler weather, and Jamboree coming up next week. And it's like the Buckeye Army is waking up, and they're waking up to a good football team.
Yeah, I got to think about that. I'm really hope that they have a stand that sells salad this year at the Jamboree, because I really want to hit that.
Yeah, the salad bar.
I want to hit a salad. Yeah, it'd be a fried salad probably at the Jamboree. Tell you what, deep fried salad. Handoff up the middle. Nice run there by Pittsburgh. Good for about 9 yards. Clock is at 4:30 and still running. So score still 0, 49-0. I can't remember the last game that we had that the Buckeyes had a shutout. Joe, can you recall? You'd have to look way back. And it's not over yet, by the way. They got 4 minutes and may score, but has been a while. They're going to go deep downfield. And we're going to get an interference call on that one, and unfortunately we earned it.
Yeah, that's Taj, and that's not a bad thing because the clock still runs while they're trying to pick up the football and gather everything back up. Make this call. We'll run about a minute and a half off the clock, which is a great penalty.
Yeah. Yeah, it's 15 yards, automatic first down, obviously. And we just hope we want to wish Pittsburgh a good season this year.
Hey, everything's still in front of them. Just 0-1 in district. And when 4 teams make the playoffs in a 16 district, that means you only really got to win 2 district games. And so Pittsburgh capable really of winning maybe even 3 district games.
Yeah, you hand off again. Yeah, you sit here and you think about it. I mean, Buckeyes, we said it all along, have a very good shot. If we can get past, a few key teams in the playoffs, have a very good shot at going back to state again.
Yes, we do.
4 out of 5 years.
Yes, we do.
With Alan Metzel at the helm. And Pittsburgh, so, Pittsburgh's playing a potential
state championship.
First of all, they're playing the reigning state championship, team, and then, and not to mention 2-time state track state champions. So, I mean, they're playing some of the best athletes in the state. So the fact that they held them to, 49 actually is a little bit of a it really is. It really is.
Well, when you're Coach Abrams over there, you've really tried to install culture, and unfortunately he hadn't really had an opportunity in the last couple of years. Why? Because you're in the district with Pleasant Grove, Gilmer, and now Van. I mean, to make it even more challenging. You had Liberty Isle, which is always very talented, but this is Beast Texas, folks. I mean, it is very simple. 3 out of the best 5 teams in all of 4A, and that is Carthage, Gilmer, and Pleasant Grove, are playing each other in the same district every single year, in the same district. I mean, it's very, very likely we're going to have to play Pleasant Grove twice this season.
Quarterback keeper around the left side with 1:45 left. He'll move to chains. Buckeyes substituting some more players.
Fresh bodies going in for the Buckeyes. Here comes Kai and Jeremiah on the outside linebacker, which just kind of tells me that Coach Kennedy says, I kind of don't want anybody to score here. Put number 11, number 13 back in the game. There are your starting all-state caliber outside linebackers. And we're going to click down under a minute here. And this may be, Jeff, the next to last play of the game.
Quarterback drops back, rolls to his right, look at the pass. And nice defensive play there by Haynes.
That's Trace again. And I just hope this really triggers a kind of a breakout game for Trace. We've seen Solly have 2 really good games, solid back-to-back. And, God, the future is so bright. As Buckeye fans, I wish you just were staying up together with all of the young talent that is being developed and coming. I promise you, folks, it's only getting better from here.
Quarterback rolls back, running for his life to the right side, fires one to the sideline, and he steps out of bounds. 27 seconds left. They may have time for one more shot. I don't know. It depends on how fast they line up, but Gilmer obviously victorious tonight. First win in district play. Joe, what do you got?
Well, it's really small print. I'm looking on my phone, but if I didn't miss a zero somewhere, the last time the Buckeyes Black Flag defense got a shutout was in 2020 against Paris North Lamar, winning 54-0 in that district game. So that's been 4 years since we've had a shutout.
Well,
Wow.
here's the next one here tonight. Gilmer will win 49-0, and they'll take their first win. The state championship. Where are we playing next week, Todd?
We will be home against the Van Vandals, and trust me, folks, it will be.
That's going to be a good game.
It is Jamboree week. All kinds of things can happen.
And Van Vandal's not a bad team at all.
And this will be for a playoff berth probably for the Buckeyes, because if they can beat Van, then they pretty much are at least guaranteed a top 4 finish in the district. But the week after that, not to look ahead, is PG week, and that is probably going to be a preview of a couple of big battles, 8 quarters to come against the that crew from up in Texarkana. So for myself, Todd Robinson, the voice of the Buckeyes, Jeff Rash, the guru on stats tonight, Joe Dodd. Mark Skinner's only holding down his turn on the school board.
He's
now.
only the school board president.
Yeah,
he really doesn't do much. So.
Well, yeah, Jeff did that job too. You just passed.
That's the worst job in town. I'm going to tell you right now. I put a decade in. Yeah, it's the dumbest job in town.
We want to say thanks to Michael and Eric, of course, and Coach Rob, who is backing us up on some stats as well. Buckeyes shut them out tonight, 49-0 to go 1-0 in district play. Nothing else matters now except for the next week, as the Buckeyes are in phase 2, and you couldn't have started it out much better. We appreciate the Buckeye Army turning out tonight to support these Buckeyes. We expect the same thing next week in Van, and a barn burner of a game. So Buckeyes win 49-0. We'll see you next week at the Jamboree, folks, in Tatertown. Good night.